looking across the South Saskatchewan River to Saskatoon. We're here all week for the Tim Hortons Brier. Who's got the button? Have they got the button? Alberta's got the button, and the Tim Hortons Brier. He's back, and he is once again a favorite. 2010 champion Kevin Cooey returns to the Brier after a one-year absence with a new-look team. Can Cooey direct Alberta to yet another title? His march to the tankard begins tonight. Draw 2 from Saskatoon. The Brier on TSN is next. Always excited to come to the heart of curling country. We're in Saskatchewan for this year's Tim Hortons Brier. And in the opening draw on this opening day this afternoon, an upset of sorts to many people as they went an extra. Quebec and Manitoba in a 6-6 tie. And in the extra with Manitoba sitting 2, Rob Fowler out of Brandon. Robert Desjardins from Chicoutimi will draw the edge of the button for the winning point. And a big win for this former Quebec champion, now skipping this team. Low fives for a big win over Manitoba and Fowler. Scott Manners from Saskatchewan, from Battleford, rookie team, comes up with a first draw win over PEI. Ontario needed to hang a rock on the edge of the 12 to pick up a 6-5 win over New Brunswick. And Nova Scotia, Jamie Murphy from Halifax, the other rookie team in the field, he comes up with a win over the team from Yellowknife. As on this Saturday night, day 1, we say hello Canada, welcome back to our continuing coverage. Lyndon Russ alongside. Okay, so we've got Alberta against BC in this opening draw for both of them. Now we know Kevin Cooey and we know two other members, but he had to go outside the province to find a third. And the reason, of course, is that last year Blake McDonald, the usual third, stepped back from the game. He is here as the 5th player. So where does Cooey look for a third? To Saskatchewan and Pat Simmons.
And great choice it was. Pat Simmons, we all know, was a wonderful skip in his own right, been to multiple Briers, and fitting advice is new for him, and they knew it would take some time. Filling the shoes of Blake McDonald wasn't easy, so they played a lot more events than most teams on the Gold Trail, and it's paid off for them, Vic. They started slow, but right now they're playing really, really well. When
it comes to BC, it's a second straight championship, or a Brier appearance for Jim Cotter out of both Vernon and Kelowna curling clubs, but there are question marks about him too.
Well, there are, because he's been here twice before, but the first time Jim Cotter actually threw last stones and Bob Urso was the skip throwing third stones, and that combination worked beautifully. We were so impressed. That was the better record of his 2 previous appearances. Then he becomes skip and last rock thrower. It drops to a 4-7 record. That's the first question. Can he boost that from last year? The second one is Kevin Folk at third. He was the second before and fit that role beautifully. Now he's got to step into some big shoes and throw those big stones against Pat Simmons.
So it is Alberta against British Columbia, our Saturday night feature from here in Saskatoon and the Tim Hortons Brier.
We definitely had some struggles the first half of the year, but ever since the new year, we've really been rolling, and it's been good to see.
Played against Kevin many a times, on tour, through the slam events and so forth. And we're also good friends with him, so we're excited to be playing against him first, and might as well get right out of the gates and hit it hard.
The 2012 Tim Hortons Brier is brought to you by Roll Up the Rim to Win. It's time for Tim's. The 2012 Tim Hortons Brier is brought to you by Ford, official automotive partner of the Canadian Curling Association. By M&M Meat Shops, hundreds of meal ideas, one aisle. And by Sponge Towels, paper towels. Nothing absorbs like it.
Here are the games on the ice. Nova Scotia and PEI on Sheet A. Our feature game is on Sheet B. On Sheet C, Brad Gushu from Newfoundland Labrador gets it going against Brad Jacobs. Those two teams expected to challenge for playoff spots. And it's New Brunswick and Manitoba, both of them trying to bounce back after afternoon losses. So it is Jim Cotter, BC, Alberta's Kevin Cooey. Time to meet the teams now. It's brought to you by Ford. Drive one.
Hi, I'm Jim Cotter, skip of Team British Columbia. Our lead is Rick Sawatsky, second Tyrell Griffith, third Kevin Pope, and we play out of the Vernon and Kelowna Curling Club in Vernon and Kelowna, British Columbia.
Hi, I'm Kevin Cooley, skip of Team Alberta. Our lead is Nolan Thiessen, second Carter Rycroft, third Pat Simmons, and we curl out of the Glencoe Curling Club in Calgary.
And Alberta already gets an early jump. They've won the draw to the button, so they will have the last rock in the first end playing the Yellowstones. BC's playing the red. And to get us underway, the BC lead is Rick Sawatsky.
We have some great matchups at every position. Rick Sawatsky is a very solid lead. He's maybe not known as much as some of the leads we talk about more frequently, but a very good player. And you talk about Nolan Thiessen, he's also one of the best. So it'll be a great start to the ends as we see BC putting it in, and right away Cooey going to the guard.
There won't be any running it up and down the ice for this team from Alberta. They're thinking offense when they have the chance, and this is a good chance right here. There's a rock already on the button. It's deep enough that you can draw if you have to and throw the corner right off the bat.
Gotta go.
You played the hot shots all day yesterday, and some people this morning. You had a 1 hour practice yesterday. You had 10 minutes for each team. No reason not to go after it right off the get-go.
Rick being asked for the guard. We've seen teams, we saw it earlier today, sometimes play it short, sometimes in, hoping the opposition, if you play it in, doesn't make some key tap or roll. But this one's being asked short, just short of the rings. Make it a little harder to come by.
Russ, did you have a feeling one way or the other about who you played in the first draw? Did you want a team that you felt you... How do I, without insulting people?
Could beat?
You could beat, or you would have maybe an easier time with, or did you want to be thrown in to the deep end as these two teams are right here?
Well, it really varied. Vic, when I played in Ontario and had such a good team with Glenn and Peter and Wayne Madaw, we went after just about everybody. And then when I moved down east, we weren't as sharp at catching on to these different ice conditions. So we changed our strategy a little bit depending on who we were playing. But I think you have to be really aware as a skip to know in practice not only what the opposition's doing, but what your team's doing. If your team's nailing their draws and they feel comfortable, then you do what Kevin's doing right here, be aggressive. You
know, that's funny because we often talk, Linda, about skips being more than just skips. They have to be managers. You look. Do you get a sense... Goaltenders will tell you in practice they know whether they've got it. Hockey goalies.
Yes.
Do you, in fact, know in practice, your 10-minute practice, if you're the skip, you see if your team's got it?
You see it in the execution, but also in the look. When we're talking about an opening game, here's Ty in his first Brier game. You can look at people, Vic, and you can see tension, or you can see the correct state, the ready state to go play. So you can decide how aggressive to be. Now, when it comes to who you play in the first game, well, sometimes, and Russ, you've talked about this before, it's not wrong to play a top team, somebody that's maybe expected to do well early, because they've also got to learn about the ice.
Exactly. We watched that in the Scott Tournament of Hearts last week. The first 2 or 3 draws, everybody was making mistakes until they really figured it out. So you're absolutely right. A day like today, if you're the weaker team, in this case there's 2 great ones, but if you are the weaker team, it would not be a mistake to be aggressive.
Even Carter with the deep breath, ready to throw this rock. Now the matchup at second is a really interesting one. You have Carter Rycroft, who has played with some amazing teams in Alberta, against the rookie, and it will be interesting to see how they match up.
Right off for light.
Remembering now that Alberta does have the last rock here in this opening end against BC. Let's take a look at the game plan, and it's brought to you by World Financial Group. Your dreams, our strategies.
Well, when we talk about the great team, the champions from Alberta, they have 2 kinds of play. They can apply pressure with aggressive play, the corner guards, the come-arounds, and then they have the up-weight skill to get out of trouble. So they are scary to play against, whichever way you look at it, aggressive or defensive style.
Could be the best team here in bailing out if they do get into trouble. And losing Blake McDonald, picking up Pat Simmons didn't hurt them a beat in that category.
Short. Go. Where is it? Yep, pass the red one. Yep.
Hard, guys. Hard.
For BC, rock positioning is going to be key when they get into these complicated ends.
To handle a bit, too.
Okay. Yeah, unless it goes on,
I'm talking about rotation there because I think for BC they want to keep it open and get a little more relaxed state before they make a move. And the key, in my opinion, is Kevin Folk at third, winning the matchup, going shot for shot with Pat Simmons, and making the big shots for his skip, Jim Cotter.
Might miss it, I don't know.
They're looking at moving the two rads and seeing where they will go.
I think it will if they hit it high side enough. If they hit it dead on, it will redirect towards the yellow. But if they hit it a little on the right-hand side of our sheet, it should kick over towards that red one, I believe. It's going to be close, though.
I think a hair on Pat's side is good.
Yep. Whoa, 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 whoa. Pat, yep, Pat, Pat, yep, Pat. Yep, go, 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 go.
Nope.
No, he thought about it. He said, well, he said it might go by, but it dragged right into the stone on the edge of the 12-foot.
I'll throw you guys a 2 here.
So here's one of the question marks, as you brought up, Linda. Throwing the third stone for BC now is Kevin Folk. He moves up to the third position after playing second.
Across center, guys.
He's a great player. He struggled quite badly in the provincial final, and that's one of the reasons I'm wondering. There's a lot of pressure on him. His dad is coaching. And his dad is from Saskatchewan, so we have a lot of people with big expectations, Vic.
So here we go. Pat Simmons, 5-time Saskatchewan champion, now throwing for the first time for Alberta.
His back line.
Hack.
Okay.
You don't got to overgun it here. It's going to be a few feet heavier, but
Maybe even just here.
I like that better.
Yeah. Even if you just bump this back to here.
I think 5 feet heavier here, Carter?
Yeah, that's what I think. Yeah. You don't think so?
3 feet.
And little or no reaction. There may be more when Alberta plays Saskatchewan. But
I think there was some comments made to Pat directly about him going to another province, and I think if people understand more about reasons why, they wouldn't say those things. But sometimes they can be bothersome. I don't think this crowd will be like that. A very knowledgeable crowd in this building.
wrapping it around the guard, trying to play a little double bump to sit for shot, not quite. And if you ask Pat, well, it was a business decision to go there.
Yeah, well, certainly I think putting this team together was that's our goal, obviously, no question. To get to those trials and to get there, you know, having a chance and thinking that if we put the work in, that you know, if we have a good week, we can maybe win that. And you know, when I joined the team, I wasn't even certain of the rules or even if I could play in playdowns, to be quite honest. And you know, when we found out that it was a possibility. It was one of those things, A, I didn't want to let the guys down, and B, you know, I think moving forward we need to be in as many big games as we possibly can. So, you know, big games being playing Kevin Martin in our provincials, a provincial final, hopefully Brier playoffs, you know, and so on and so forth. So, you know, I think those are the kind of games that really bode well for us, you know, moving forward to those trials.
So no insult to Saskatchewan curling. For him at his age of 37, his best opportunity to get to the Olympics possibly is through this team and with this team. Kathy Gauthier, good evening.
Hi, Vic. Well, it certainly is, and it's interesting because so much talk about the abilities of Pat Simmons. No question he's a great curler, but the team did struggle early, and they identified, Nolan Thiessen particularly identified, that they had no intensity. Blake McDonald was just the hyper, the little chihuahua on the team that got everybody going all the time. They didn't have that with Pat. Kevin Cooey very laid back, and so what's happened is the front end has had to adapt. They've changed their roles. Both Carter and Nolan had to step up and provide that intensity, and that's now why they're winning.
Line's good. Room. Just top button.
That's why it does take so long for teams to fit. It's not just finding the shots to play, it's how you fit together and make each other the very best.
Hard line, go! Hard! Harder, go!
Oh, what a nice shot that is.
That's a bundle of yellow staring at you at the front of the 4-foot.
And the shot stone is at the back of the button.
Two great finesse shots by Pat Simmons.
Other ones there, or do you want to come in?
If you have any nerves coming out here, your first two shots, the one side was a little slower, and he made them both look easy.
Roughly like a 2. Just past our red ones is good.
Okay, where are we going there, Jimmy?
Just past our red ones.
Okay. Slide's pretty nice up here.
Okay. There's a hair more ice than Kev's. Okay.
Throwing a guard just past, closer to the house that is, past the red ones.
Got to be careful here. That's about the ice we've seen, and mind you, a different sheet to curl right to the button. So if this actually curls to the center line, the yellow rock could still be exposed.
Be close.
Real tight.
Easy then.
Right here.
Whoa,
Real
whoa,
tight.
whoa, whoa.
Right
Wait for it.
Howard,
Might be rings. Might be rings.
it's just tight. Hair. Yep.
Okay.
You got to run that, don't you?
Make it easier. Made it easier to me to throw blast and get.
I think we're going to see Kevin give this a shot. He really has to do something with this shot.
Even if I get it into here.
Try to run it back and
I can open these two up.
hopefully stick that yellow one.
So that's what he's going to play, right?
Well, as long as that red isn't there, though, it's not.
I guess, yeah.
And I mean, even if it is, it's
No, I don't mind that good.
Or else I play this.
Yeah, you can do that too. Yeah.
Run that corner?
What do I need to hit onto that red?
Scared
pretty
running the
thin.
center one's gonna.
We talked about Kevin Cooey's
But I
ability
can
to
come
throw
off the
the
back
up weight. Sometimes he looks at shots that look really tough.
Yeah, no kidding. A 12-foot straight back thin double. That's you wouldn't even practice these. This is a tough shot. I thought he'd go the other way. It's a lot shorter raise.
Why don't you guys like the red one?
Well, I can miss it both ways. I mean, it's got to be perfect. I hit it onto half of that yellow one. All it does is come across and hit our other yellow one.
Okay.
I like it on my last one. If it was my last one, I'd play it.
Okay.
Okay, let's make this.
Tough shot.
Kevin Cooey in his first.
Whoa!
Nothing yet from the front end. Nothing yet from Jason Rycroft. Nothing yet. Called right off. Run it back. Catch half. No. Drives it through. Well, further to what Kathy was talking about, the difference between Blake McDonald and Pat Simmons. Kevin Cooey says, yep, they're two different guys.
It's crazy. Blake was always, pretty excitable out there for sure. And, I had to sometimes worry about trying to keep him on an even keel. So, but Pat, total polar opposites. He's just more calm. And, I think it helps. He's skipped a lot. And so he knows what's going through my head and, what he needs to say to, get the best out of me.
And there are direct parallels, similarities to what's happened in Ontario when Glenn Howard this year with Richard Hart stepping back from the game has gone and put Wayne Madon to that third position. Very similar stories.
And very lucky, both of them, to have people to come onto the team with the skill sets of Pat Simmons, replacing a great player in Blake McDonald, who did win that World Championship with this Cooey team. And of course, Richard Hart, one of the very best thirds, and you get Wayne Middaugh to come onto the team, another brilliant player.
Unbelievable, and it shows how dedicated these teams are. That you know, Wayne, who was one of the best, probably the best shot maker in the world in the late '90s, was willing to vice, and same with Pat Simmons here.
Cotter, BC, final stone.
He's trying to take away 2 shots, the in-off and the rock out
He
front.
backs it up, gone to the lid.
Hoping not to push it quite so far.
Great try, but might have made this next shot easier.
He was trying to take away this, but also that red guard looming out in front to be run in. He was trying to make it harder to use that as well. But punches the rock out of the 4-foot.
This is the one I liked for Alberta's first try, and maybe Kevin knew he'd get the second chance at it.
Well, that's what he said to Carter Rycroft.
Yep.
He said, I'll have this. Let's play this other one. So an opportunity here for Alberta to get themselves out of trouble. Maybe get 1, get 2, maybe 3. Trying to hold it now. Thiessen, Rycroft, you can hear Simmons. They're going to run this back. There they go, and count them up. 3 for Alberta here in the first.
Good rush, boys.
Well, the skipper said, Russ, this is going to be available to me, and he was right.
Certainly was, and you think of the great hitters in Alberta, Martin, Lukowicz, Pat Ryan over the years. This guy's right up there with the best of them. 1 inch of ice, throws it like a laser, sticks it for 3.
It's an early key shot. It's brought to you by Scotty's Facial Tissue. Stylish designs for any room. So Alberta and Kevin Cooey out of the Glencoe Club in Calgary on the board with a 3 in the first as we welcome you back to Saskatoon, the Credit Union Center. It's our first day of coverage, the Tim Hortons Brier on this Saturday night draw number 2. And here in the second, it will be BC. It does have the last rock. They have the hammer playing the Redstones.
Boy, what a difference an inch makes if Jimmy's curls a hair more, rolls a little thicker. He's sitting 2 buried, and very tough shot for Kevin even to score, and all of a sudden he puts a 3 spot on the board.
That's fine.
Good weight. That's fine, yeah.
But it shows you how much trouble you can get into when you don't have the hammer and you're playing somebody with the skills of Alberta who can make rocks move with just 1 stone. You have to be so careful not to be guarding things to make sure you've got a second shot in there somewhere. And BC took a lot of chances playing those guards, and one little mistake, and it's very costly.
Kathy Gauthier?
Well, you know, Linda, it's so interesting because before the game, Jim Cotter said to me, the only thing I don't want in the first end is a lot of rocks. Their first practice was the 8 a.m. session yesterday, and they haven't thrown since. They knew the ice would be very different. He was very unsure. He wound up playing an end that he absolutely did not want to play.
1-2, right?
Yeah.
You know, it's so easy to say when it's already happened, but when you start to get into trouble, there are ways to get out of trouble, and you always have to be surveying the house. Is it the way I want it to look? If not, how can I bail out? And they just kept going with that aggressive plan. BC I'm speaking of, and wow, turns around so quickly.
Clean it. Whoa. You're not really good.
Kathy, let's begin our updates with Nova Scotia, Prince Edward Island. Nova Scotia, brand new team. Jamie Murphy, CFB Halifax, coming off a 9-5 win earlier today over the team from Yellowknife. Cracked a 5 in the fourth and have a chance for a bundle here.
Well, he does. He can open this game. Been a wide open set of misses for PEI. Great chance here for a 4.
So an early big jump for Nova Scotia to lead PEI, and Mike Goody from Charlottetown.
We need to switch.
Finish it.
Yeah, switch. Yep.
Finish it.
Hard.
Right over, boys.
Hard. Keep it going. Yep.
Just checking from the hack to see how much the thrower can see. It's sometimes that's a wonderful idea, because if the thrower says he can't see very much, he might not be confident either. But
yeah.
In this case, Carter thinks he can get at that, and there's lots of curl past his guard.
Yeah.
The guard's way over now. That looks pretty buried,
a bit
though.
more. Nope.
They're going to play just a tap.
Tons of ice being taken there. You'd probably only take center line for a draw, so you cannot overthrow it.
12. Yep. 11. Yep. Whoa. Yep. Whoa. 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 11. Off. Off. It's got a lot of weight. Laurel.
Okay, good shot. Okay.
That's a shot, in my opinion, that Carter's really improved on. When he first burst on the men's scene with Kevin Martin, he missed a lot of shots heavy, and he's really worked on that shot and makes a lot of the soft shots he could always hit.
I think that's probably true for the entire team. Maybe not Pat Simmons, who moved into the team, but I think for Kevin Koo, even for years, he was criticized for only being able to throw the up weight. He wins the Brier. How does he do it? He draws the 4-foot. So he's proven he can do it.
Over curling a bit.
Ty Griffith throwing the second stones for BC. First Brier appearance for Ty, a former 3-time BC junior champion.
Took more than the jar of the button there. Sorry? Took more than the jar of the button.
Two other games on the ice. Northern Ontario with the last rock. Brad Jacobs from Sault Ste. Marie scores 1 against Brad Gouju and his team from Newfoundland Labrador. And New Brunswick steal 1 against Manitoba. That's Terry Odishaw from Curl Moncton against Rob Fowler from Brandon, and the Manitoba team coming off a loss. It was our featured game in draw 1 to Quebec.
Yep.
You can still hear Jim Cotter, the BC skip, talking about the ice. The only thing that couldn't happen to that draw that they just played was an overcurl. It could have been somewhere nestled in. At least you would be moving some of those rocks around, if nothing else, giving yourself more chance to get into a scoring position. Jim just saying that curled more than the draw to the button in practice. It's that ever-changing first couple of days of ice.
Yeah, exactly. Just like Kathy said, yesterday when they had the 8 in the morning practice, there wasn't anywhere near this much curl. They were inside edge of the 8-foot. Look where the broom is this time. It's almost out to the edge of the 12-foot. A totally different surface than yesterday.
Probably there, guys.
It's a little wider, though.
7-8. 7-8.
Pretty good. Freeze it. Tapping. Oh, then.
But that... It may be different, but it does take. I mean, they say the ice is usually green, right? And it takes a little bit like shoes. You know, the shoes are a little stiff. You need to wear them in, break them in a little bit.
Like shoes. That's the first analogy I've ever heard used in sport describing shoes.
Your shoes, you need to work them in a little bit.
Put his foot into it, didn't he?
Till they get comfortable. So.
No, you're right, though. It's exactly. And that's fooled Cotter here. He can't get that broom in the right spot. That the one that overcurled here a little while ago was overcurled by nearly 2 feet. Another bad error there, just being a hair heavy. It springs open the backing, and there's tons of room for Pat to hit and sit 5 here.
Whoa, 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 whoa. Yeah. Yep. Yes. Whoa, 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 whoa. Whoa. You can save that one. It's okay.
Wow. How fine is that? Pat Simmons. And look at that house right now.
Well, in truth, they wouldn't have really minded if it had taken one of the rocks with it, but that's another little bundle of yellow that you don't want to be looking at if you're BC. It's one of those where you're Jim and you're thinking 5 rocks in that proximity. I must be able to get a rock in a position where they can't take it out.
Yep. I like that. So house hit. Coach doesn't like it.
All right, Kev. Hey, get here. Wait, nice.
House.
You're solid, eh?
Whoa. 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 Clean. No. Yep. Whoa. Yep. Whoa. Whoa. Good.
Okay, Kev.
Can't buy a break. Just can't.
So, if you knows it, it's going to go.
Nova Scotia, we showed you, got 4. Kathy, red right now is sitting 1. I think the Yellowstone to the back button is 2. Can PEI play something that might get them a second point?
Well, they can, but it is really tricky. That red shot stone just thrown by Jamie on his final stone. So if he can get to the inside, he being Mike Goody, there is the chance he could tap for 2, but it's tough.
Whoa!
Tyler Harris, Sean Clary, Tyler McKenzie calling line. Got to get across the nose if he can and maybe just tap it back. Oh, he did.
Nice.
Oh, maybe not, Kathy.
I think it's nice.
No, just wait. That little red one there on the back edge there. Well, it's one for sure. Sure, they'll take a look, Kathy.
Still nice.
You're right, Kathy. It was a nice shot.
Very nice. They're going to measure, I'm sure.
Right off, nothing.
We'll update you as soon as we know for sure.
Wow, what a break.
I thought that was you.
Quiet wait, and it never moved.
That's all we really have. Right? We can't go there without ticking it, so let's go there. Just a quiet house.
Not quite 7/8, eh?
Right. Yeah, roll right into this one.
Yep. Very quiet house?
Yeah, quiet house.
Bit of a gamble, but you could freeze another one in there, and Kevin would have a big decision.
Down house.
Danger here is hitting this dead on and setting up an easy double for Kevin.
Quiet house, guys.
So for Jim Cotter and his BC team, second straight trip to the Brier, they've had to make some changes. 4-7 a year ago in London, Ontario.
Style of play is about the same. You know, last year I was kind of started skipping late in the season, and you know, then all of a sudden, you know, we're at the provincials and got fortunate enough to win that and going to the Brier, and it's definitely a different game. And so it was a big learning curve. You know, we have Rick Folk, one of the all-time skips, and so we had a year to work with him. So that's been fantastic.
Whoa! Whoa! Whoa!
Oh, it backed up just too far. Shot stone is BC back. Top of the 4, though. Alberta.
Yeah.
And there is Rick Folk.
Okay.
Two-time Canadian, two-time world champion, and of course the last to win for Saskatchewan back in 1980. What does his input mean to this team?
It's very valuable. It's not just because he's a great strategist, but he's a real calming influence too when things are going badly. And right now things are going badly, Russ.
Yeah, he almost rolled into a good spot, but it looks like Kevin can come down here and run that straight back off his own here. Yellow goes out, and this red goes out, and he'll go straight through there. Got to throw a lot of weight to make this.
Hard! Hard!
Final. Oh, did you see that? He came across the top, and it was like guiding it out on a leash. He just let it across and out the side.
A double kiss.
Kiss of death.
You talk about analogies. You think about bowlers, Vic, that can throw it hard and the pins are just crashing around. Well, that doesn't happen with me when I bowl, and I'm not sure I can throw it hard enough in curling to have what Kevin has happen. And you get a lot of action on that rock, and you never know what's going to happen. Good things often do, and it just did.
Just unbelievable. I mean, that stone wanted to maybe stop, maybe hit the catcher, but that yellow stone just guided across and underneath.
Ended up in a pretty dangerous spot, too, in front of the tee line. You can't hit it. You have to go around it, kind of, and basically a piece of the button to score here.
Down 3, facing 3. Tough start for BC.
On a nice surface that you haven't really figured out yet. Final stone for Jim Cotter and the team out of the Vernon and Kelowna curling clubs.
I think we're good. Pretty much the same path as a draw-off, guys.
Full 4.
There.
Full 4 against 3. Full 4. Cooey is there just in case it's heavy. It's going to need to stop. It's going to slide a little bit more, and it will stop in time, but not before. Alberta steals one more here in the second. Kathy, our first look at Newfoundland, Labrador, Northern Ontario. Brad Jacobs out of the Sioux Curlers Association got one with the hammer. Newfoundland, Labrador, Brad Gouju. Here's a team, you know, that 2006 gold medal team is all gone now with the retirement of Mark Nichols, so he's had to move Ryan Fry up to third and added 2 new players.
Well, he has, and they're playing well. Brad Jacobs got a bit of a misfortune on his first one. He jammed, had to make a double on his second, but it rolled a bit open. He's got a tap, Brad does, for the deuce.
For 2 for Newfoundland, Labrador, and the champions out of the Valley Haley Country Club. On this Saturday night, big scoreboard overhead here at Credit Union Center. It is the home of the Saskatoon Blades. They're on the road, of course, for 6-game road trip, trying to lock down a playoff position in the Western Hockey League. And so the steal of 1 means that Alberta is up 4-0 already as we go to the third. And once again, BC will have the last rock playing the Redstones here in 3.
Well, it's only the second end of play for scoring has gone by, but it's going to feel like it's uphill for the rest of this game because it's very difficult when you get behind any good team. You get behind a team that can hit like Kevin Cooey's, and BC has to really scramble to get back in this game. They have to take some chances. When you take some chances, you can also get burned.
Good.
Second straight BC title for Jim Cotter out of Vernon and Kelowna, and he beat another former champion in Brent Pierce, who, again, it's interesting how people move up in positions. We had seen Brent, I think, in the 3rd position, now skipping his own team.
Okay.
Well, just as I spoke, yeah, they got a big break. Carter missing the peel.
Flash on the corner guard. Covering the BC stone. You see that's the one at the T line right now. That's the covered stone. BC with last rock. Ty Griffith.
Solid house. Clean it. Clean. Yep. Whoa, whoa, whoa.
Trying to tap the yellow rocks around.
Yep. Yep. Hard. Roll it. Boy. Good shot. Perfect. Very nice.
It's the softest weight W you'll ever see.
Yes. Proof positive you can do it with the quiet weight.
Half.
Pretty natural double. You heard Kevin yell down half. That's what you want as an athlete, to be aiming at half. Any less than that gets a little scary.
Yep. Oh, hard. Whoa. Whoa. Go.
Not quite. Pushes it out from behind the guard for Kevin Cooey. Out of Glencoe now in Calgary. He beats the arch rival, Martin, and then Brock Virtue. Brock Virtue actually won twice over Martin to get to that final, and then eventually it was Cooey over Brock Virtue in the Alberta Championship.
Cooey was undefeated in that event, which is saying something in that province.
Whoa. Clean. It's getting better. Clean it. Yep.
The one Redstone was punched out into the open. BC's trying to use this yellow rock and the corner guard. Just tap back the yellow rock. Sitting behind cover.
It's good. Good shot. Even if you freeze your own, it's not too bad.
Yeah. Like that. Normal speed here, guys, now, eh?
Yeah.
So BC gets its wish where they've got Alberta out of the big weight hits and actually playing a draw in this case.
Dangerous shot, too, around a corner guard without hammer.
Checking in on New Brunswick and Manitoba, Kathy. New Brunswick stole one, Terry Odishaw from Moncton in the first. Rob Fowler, though, has a chance here to get back into it. Now, Fowler coming off a loss in our featured game earlier today to Quebec, and their coach, Brian, said to me before the game he thought that his son was a little nervous.
Well, understandably so. He'd been here before, but not as a skip, which is a very different role. But he's got a really good chance here. Terry Odishaw throwing very big weight on a hit and stick attempt on his final stone. Rolled too far. This is a draw for 2. Needs 8 foot.
Can't hurt it. Right to the button. Put it there, Dirk. Yeah, that's good.
The Manitoba champions out of the Brandon Curling Club will pick up a couple.
Guys, good plan.
Back line to hack.
I think so.
Hack. Hack.
I like hack, yeah.
Okay. Hack.
Yellowstone rolled off the red one a little bit. It is available for a tap back. It'll tap onto the other yellow.
Need to touch soft.
Yeah, just hack. Yep. Yep.
Whoa.
Clean.
Whoa.
Light.
Whoa.
Clean. Weight's good.
Whoa.
Yep. Oh. Hard. Right to it. Right to it.
Oh, Jimmy. Shot. Good.
Messy end for Alberta here.
Yes.
Boy, oh boy.
Surprisingly so. Kevin with a nice shot. Yellowstone is wide open. 2 reds in behind cover and a third one in for 4th shot.
I think that the attractiveness of the game and the players at the elite level will tell you no 2 shots, no 2 games are ever the same. But things do stay the same. That corner guard that's sitting up there now on the left-hand side as we looked at it, if the peel is made, we're not developing here.
No, they actually did call the peel. We see sometimes teams, Vic, don't go up and try and peel the corner, and that's how they get into trouble. In this case, it was Cotter missing the peel, and that gives BC a chance to play these come-arounds. But also, Kevin Cooey has now gone along with the quiet shots. One more time, we'll play a little freeze tap.
Oh, so you're saying he could have very easily run it as well, right?
Yep.
A stone later.
Yes.
Yep. He got fooled. BC tried to freeze, didn't get shot rock, and they were kind of lulled into playing this corner guard stuff, and this is trouble here.
And here we go, Pat Simmons one more time. A rub and roll off.
In a 4-point lead, you peel the guard. You get a chance to get out of a possible 3-ender by making doubles. That's all they do. These guys can make that for a living, and Pat would love this one back. It's a tough shot. They tried to. That was the weight, but it was a dead buried rock. He was trying to tap it.
That one pounded your first one the whole way. It's perfect.
Yeah, he's shaking his head. Kevin Cooey is to say, what have we gotten ourselves into here?
Whoa! Whoa!
Whoa! Ah!
1 and 2, and both of them go.
Good.
So right now, BC here in 3, trailing by 4-0, is sitting 4.
Now there is a combination available. It was hard to avoid that with BC playing in this same area. They got the 2 to go. For Kevin Cooey, there is an out. What I liked about this situation, we talked about Pat Simmons. Kevin went to race down the ice, and now he's back talking.
I think he can bounce over and up, give him the hit and roll back in.
It would be nice to kill us, but I could still do that with normal, right?
Sure you could, yeah.
Normal still too much, or normal?
No, I like normal. I like normal a lot better. Yeah. Yeah.
Half, a bit less.
Half is max, yeah.
Great point, Linda, that stopped him from throwing the bullet down there. The bullet might remove a couple of rocks. It would be a free draw for 3 around a corner guard.
Newfoundland Labrador with a 2-1 lead, and Northern Ontario is sitting 1 on the lid. Kathy, can they somehow play a shot to get more in there?
For sure he can, and that is the call. He's playing the angle, trying to run it in sideways, maybe bring 3 into the picture.
Brad Jacobs from Sault Ste. Marie, angling it back. Oh, move it.
Nice.
Yeah, that's nice. I agree with you, Kathy. That's very nice. Brad Jacobs, 2 teams expected to challenge for the playoffs, 4-2.
What a beautiful shot by Jacobs. He had to just paper the corner of that to get that right direction.
So BC still has things going just by that corner, actually. And that meant it was a little thin and slid back. And it looks like the BC Stones are first and second shot.
Very lucky for the Alberta team that they're hidden there with that yellow at the back. At least cuts out one more.
High 90s to a 3.
BC with the last rock, so this is the first for their skip, Jim Cotter.
Easy then.
Just back tee.
You've been handed
Right
this
here.
opportunity. You want to
Right
make
all
the
there.
most of it
Oh,
by
easy
positioning
then.
this rock in the right spot. No in off, no double.
Right here. Looks good, guys. Looks good.
Good sweep. A little bit.
This way.
Shot.
to me.
Your second? And your third?
Yeah.
Trying to roll on that. Is it dangerous at all?
Well,
It's only dangerous if I
probably not. No.
shield it.
No, because the shooter would be losing.
It'd be, if I came off the backside, maybe, right?
Yeah.
It's a good one shot, one, too.
Yeah. Yeah, you got to be a little careful. Like you're not throwing a ton of weight, obviously, right? Do
Well,
that
I think
or-
I'm. What's that?
Do that or trying to roll off that one. I don't know if you like that or not.
I don't
maybe,
like
but- Okay, let's play that.
I mean, if give him his 3 and
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
the roll, this isn't in play, and I mean, there's no.
Yeah, no, I agree.
But try and roll onto that, right?
Yeah, for sure.
Well, they're definitely going to hit
second
shot
anyways.
rock.
Yeah.
The question is there any
for sure.
danger of trying to roll over
kinda weight are you
towards
throwing?
the
I
other
roll
yellow?
across
Remember,
the
it is
top and-
currently 4 shot. Remove that red, it would be 3rd shot. You don't want to kick
go
things
with,
around
like,
and actually give
control's
BC a
probably
better
good, eh?
chance for a
I
bundle.
think I need normal. It's a little flat, eh?
Yeah. Yeah, like a soft normal.
Yeah. Basically, you're trying to nut it into that one, right? But just roll over there.
Yeah.
This is where the very, very best teams are so good at analyzing the situation and throwing the appropriate weight. And Pat Simmons is saying you can't throw a bullet here either, Kevin, because you could roll across the top.
Hey, man, what are we doing?
They're thinking just under normal.
Didn't roll over. Give him his points.
There's a good angle there. Try to roll right across
I mean, if I
between
can
that
roll
red
on
corner
to
guard.
ours, we get seconds. So that's what we're trying.
Over on sheet A, Nova Scotia up 4-1 on PEI, but it is that PEI Yellowstone that's the shot rock right now. Last one coming up for Jamie Murphy of Halifax. Kathy.
Well, they've looked a lot at angles, like quite a long time, and that Yellowstone that Jamie Murphy is running back was just thrown by Mike Good. He tried to be a little bit lighter, but by coming in, it makes this much easier.
So yellow onto red to remove yellow for 1, maybe 2. Yes, it is.
It is.
It is 2. Nova Scotia earlier today, 1-9-5 over the Northwest Territories Yukon.
This is a great example of one corner guard that was supposedly removed, but they missed it, and then a series of what I call mistakes by Kevin Cooey, and he couldn't get out of trouble by the rocks in the house. And now this is a hit for 3.
And no angle, double, hold the shooter for 4. Am I being greedy here? 3 is what you're going to get.
You're greedy, Vic.
Okay.
You don't need some new shoes, do you? Is that why you're trying for that shot?
No. That'll do. Jim Cotter, BC, pick up 3. And Jim wants to say happy 12th birthday to his daughter, Jaylee. You won't miss a thing, of course, with Canada's most comprehensive curling coverage. We're here at the Tim Hortons Brier in Saskatoon Credit Union Center. It is hard to believe, you know. It's a small thing. I guess it's a big thing. You don't feel the guard, and then you get sucked into that game of trying to go around. And look what happens if you're Alberta. You give up 3. And so that 4-0 lead is now just a 1-point lead as we go to the 4th. And Alberta does have last rock playing the Yellowstones.
Okay, there's fine.
As a coach, I often tell teams if you've had a little struggle, if you've had an end that didn't go well, maybe coast a bit, pull back. Well, it looks like Kevin Cooey's doing just that. They're just putting it in and hitting it out in this end. Sometimes it's a little hot under the collar when you've made some mistakes as a skip and as players you've missed, so let's everybody cool off.
Clean it.
It was strange because if they had peeled a second time after Carter missed, all the play was over on the one side, and Alberta was shot rock. BC would have had to make a play on it. There would have been 3 rocks in the same vicinity, and the way Alberta hits with at least 4 more rocks to go, I don't think they'd ever give up more than the deuce. But well played end by BC.
Normal.
Well, a couple of interesting things about that. First of all, Alberta uses a sports psychologist as their coach, John Dunn, sitting on the bench. And often they do talk at length about process and how they communicate and how they make choices on the ice. So it's always interesting to see that. Here's John. The other part of it is that Kevin Cooey himself says they're a scrappy team, that they do make mistakes, that they're not necessarily the perfect throwers that we sometimes see. Glenn Howard comes to mind. They're going to make mistakes both strategy and throwing. But in the end, just like in 2010, they find a way to make it happen. And 2010, they win the whole thing.
Coach Dunn has been with the Cooey team for 5 years now. It's interesting when you look across all the teams, Linda, the number of teams here at the Brier who have brought that sports psychology into the game. Not necessarily coaches as you might think of directing this shot and putting the stone there, but the more the mental side.
Yeah, I think some people have felt that they've spent so much time training the game part of it in their Bondsvilles earlier in this season. When they get to this stage, the gap that has to be closed is how to handle the pressure, how to make those good choices in this arena, in these games, playing these great teams. And that person on the bench that can help you, can guide you, can remind you about your processes, not thinking about outcome, all those things we do in sports psychology, that's when they can make the big difference.
Yep. Hard. Gotta go. Hard. Right up, guys.
Keep it going.
Just.
Good seat, guys.
Still in play.
I should have told you earlier.
Oh, okay.
Be hard to hide something behind that one, though. That one's just off the boards. Sheets are a little wider than they used to be. On some curling rinks, that would be actually covering a part of the 12-foot. We used to have some where the sheets were a little narrower.
Pat Simmons.
Nice chance for Pat to throw a draw. The brusher's just dusting it in, getting a good feel for the weight, right to the button.
Both teams will bank some time here, which can help. First 3 ends are pretty complicated.
Clean. That's out. Just clean, guys. Good throw.
Shot, Kev. Toss, Kev.
Good throw. Yep.
Might have something hard.
Hard. Yep. Hard.
I thought maybe there was some debris under that rock. It reacted so quickly.
Good. Right up, right up, right up.
Let's go over to sheet T. Kathy, Manitoba with the lead. Shot Stone is the one just biting the top edge of the 4. That belongs to Manitoba. Final rock on the way for Curl Moncton's Terry Odishaw.
Well, he's forced to go back around the other side. Rob Fowler made that shot stone by playing the raise on his last one. So trying to navigate the hole, needs to get to the 8-foot.
Whoa.
And dig in too. And he does. Nice shot for someone that we suggested can't draw, but we saw earlier today he's made some nice draws. Maybe prefers the top weight, but he makes the draw there for a 2-2 tie.
Solid. Whoa. Whoa.
Hey, Jimmy.
Oh, that didn't do much. That was about house when it got down there, or?
Solid house.
Okay.
Drop. It's a 90 and they'll test it comparative to draw.
Same as draw?
Yep.
Thinking 390, Linda. I think the split time, back line to hack, or back line to hog line, sorry. Constant distance, just under 4 seconds. That's pretty quick.
Be there for sure.
About 14.5 seconds hog to hog. That's the distance you can measure for any player for any shot. Players often have different splits based on how they throw the rock, if they pull off or add 2 upon release.
Just clean, just clean.
We saw at the end of the game earlier this afternoon, the speed did come down in the slide path. So that is something we didn't see much at the Scotties. Now, again, it's day 1, and we will see changes to the ice. But something for the players to look at and think about if you play those long games. That one went to the extra end.
On sheet C, Kathy, Northern Ontario with the lead and sitting 1 at the back of the 8-foot. What has Brad Gushue got here?
Well, he's got another draw. He played the draw in the first one. He was trying to come down to the Brad Jacobs stone that was shot, and he was short, so needs a little bit more. He's also gone further out, but he does need a bite of the 4 for sure to guarantee him the single.
Split the team. You got to split the team. Keep clean on it.
As mentioned, this is a new look team from the Valley. Haley with Ryan Fry now throwing third stones with Adam Casey and Jeff Walker second and lead respectively. And it's a 4-3 game.
So we've had the cooling off period, the wide open end, and just 1 rock in the rings and a blank attempt by Kevin Cooey.
Clean. Clean.
What do we got? We got a blank. It remains 1 point. Alberta lead. They'll take the hammer to 5.
You want to see coach?
The NHL on TSN continues tomorrow, and it's an original 6 matchup. The Bruins and Rangers. Rangers currently leading the East. Boston second. And early today, Boston lost to the Islanders. There's also a report on TSN.ca that they lost their goaltender. Tuukka Rask is out with a possible injury. So the Bruins may be facing some problems. BC faced some early problems here, down 4-0, but have bounced back nicely with 3 in the third. But the blank at 4 means we go to 5, and Alberta leads, and they do have the last rock playing the Yellowstones.
Okay.
Shade light if anything.
Line's good, Rue.
Shade light.
5. Wait only. Whoa, if you can. Floor 5. Okay, you got room.
So here we go again. Tight guard by BC, center line area, and to come around to tempt by Alberta.
Go now.
Go, Cotter. Go.
Great shot.
Russ, I may have asked this before, but it does surprise me how few teams with the free guard zone don't use it all. And my point here is that centerline guard goes up from BC, yes. Why doesn't Alberta put a stone in the free guard zone that they can bump up and promote rather than try to go around?
Yeah, I don't disagree with that at all. It's very rarely done, isn't it? And you can certainly, if it stops like right there, just a couple feet short, you can use it. We used to do it a lot because if you come up short on the out-turn side, BC comes around on the in-turn, you freeze, and you've got them both ways. You've got a shot in either way, and it's certainly a good idea.
Is it the teams, Linda, at the elite level are so afraid not to get there first? Is that what it is?
Well, I think the ice here is so conducive to the come around. There are places, Vic, and we've said this many times, if it doesn't curl enough, you have to play the short one. You have to try and set up the two ways in using front stones, and then you can angle in later. Timing is everything. On this ice, you've got the choice because it will bury. That one just rubbed, and if it hadn't, it would have been dead buried.
Down more, right?
Just tighter line.
Wow. He came down more. He didn't throw more.
Oh.
Yeah, I like that.
Okay.
Regular?
Like house down a bit. House.
Easy shots to run back. Soft weight to save everything.
Yep. Yep. Clean.
Sweep.
Good shot. Good throw.
Ty's a nice addition to the team. Linda, you were very high on him before this event started. 3-time junior champ.
Very impressive young curler, and then it's that transition into men's play, or of course we see junior women and into women's play, and it's not easy. And do you try to get onto a team where you can be mentored? We've seen that many times. You did that for Peter Corner and Wayne Madaw. Or do you launch onto your own and try and build a team? And Ty for a while had a men's team he was trying to skip. But I think this is the perfect place for him to get some experience, obviously because he's made it to a Brier.
Yeah, Jimmy Cotter on the team. Rick Folk sitting on the bench. You learn a lot in a hurry.
So close to the stone.
Yep.
That's ball. Yeah. Hard.
Hard, guys. Hard. Hard. Gotta go. Hard.
Trying to get it by, and they will not.
What's going to happen there? That shouldn't
They're
be
not
around.
bad, no quiet.
Their shot.
I think you still go here. Here, if you tap it here.
Early enough in the end, they're actually not caring if they do move that red one. They said a tap is fine, but also the freeze is fine.
How's the weight? 8, 9. Whoa, that.
Weight's good.
Whoa,
Weight's good.
whoa. Just for
Small
weight,
bump.
we got nothing yet.
Small bump.
Just off then, nothing yet. Off. Curl.
Attaboy.
Great shot.
Good shot, Carter.
They overswept one in the end. They gave up the 3 and it bounced open, but they were perfect on that one. It makes such a difference if you bounce that over. And red sits 2, you might not be able to score a deuce here.
Don't forget there is that yellow one in the top of the ring, so you just blast everything, and Alberta has a chance to sit 2.
Clean.
Yep. Whoa.
Very nice. Saved it for shot rock.
Yeah, I was just telling Nolan, I even tried to throw a hair less than what I normally do, and that seemed to get there, so.
Found this spot of the Scotties was really fast inside out off the center line. Heard Carter say he threw actually a little less than he wanted to and still made it.
Line's good. Line's good.
Gotta go.
Where are ya? Line's good.
Thiessen.
6, 7.
Hard.
Rycroft.
down.
Come hard.
This is a big drag for this
Hard.
front end from the
Hard.
Glencoe Club in Calgary.
They had to get off it. It would overcurl and not be shot if they weren't careful.
And it stops to be shot stone.
Like house? Solid house, I think.
Okay.
What turn are you calling?
In.
Yeah, solid house, I think.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's nice.
House.
Whoa.
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 Close. Solid. No.
Whoa.
No.
Whoa.
No. Come on.
Very nice.
Wait.
To avoid the jam, shooter though will go out the back.
It's attached solid.
It's trying.
Throw, Kev.
That's the way you were
Boy, I tell you what, this game has really turned around after Alberta got off to that wonderful start with the last rock, scoring the three, then a steal.
No, not really.
And for whatever reason, that early momentum they had doesn't seem to be there right now.
No kidding. Now they have a chance here, though. If they can lock this one on, it's a great chance for their deuce. But yeah, they've kind of been deflated the last two ends.
Be a hair more weight too.
Okay, really?
Line's good. Line's good.
Less, if anything.
Make sure you're here.
Go, go.
Line's good.
Hard line. Wait, it's a hair more.
Well then, yep. Line's good.
Take a look.
Get
Line's
there.
real good.
Hard
Come
line.
on.
Hard line.
Real hard,
Go,
guys.
Nolan. Gotta go. Go, 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 go.
That
go
is
right up.
amazing brushing.
To hold it, to put it on the face.
Yeah.
Even then it overcurled, but they were calling out a 7. That would have been T-line, and they dragged it all the way to the back of the house to try and establish that angle. Perfect freeze, just a slight overcurl.
Yeah, not gonna weight jam. That's
It's pretty close to the right weight.
either
Yeah,
that or
that's
this,
right.
I think. Try and stay right on it. Kind of cute. What do you like throwing?
Yeah, either or. Jam that, right?
Let's make it.
We'd stick on that one, too. Or half. A little less than half. About half.
Right there, right?
Yeah, a little less than half.
Right there.
Okay.
As I mentioned, if you made a play on the frozen rock with weight and you blast everything, still the deuce is in play because of that yellow stone at the top of the house. So they're going to take a run at this angle. So a lot of the ice between that top rock and the one they're trying to hit at the back.
It's an all or nothing shot, too. You happen to miss this, which is probable.
You're less than half, guys.
Cooey just splits the rings.
Let's make it, Jimmy.
Pretty thin half here, maybe a third of a rock to make this.
So Kevin Folk has lined up the angle here for Jim Cotter and his first. Trying to hold it. Griffith, Sawatsky, run it back. Oh, and he'll take out his own at the back.
Boy, that was really close.
You think of the fraction of an inch you were off on the top to miss that by a fraction at the back. It's very close to being made.
Thought we had that one.
So did I.
The hit, I thought we'd catch just a piece of that. Good throw.
This side's no heavier.
Nope.
Even them up or even a hair behind the other.
So splitting, are they? playing the house?
Yeah. You get it back there behind the tee line. I don't think you'll see BC freeze. They might. It's early in the game to be gambling like that.
Line's good.
We talked about that before. The freezes are so difficult. We just saw the
Line's
Alberta
really
tried
good.
a couple times, made one really good, but still overcurled.
Right to my broom.
So, anything behind the tee line, I think
Right
you'll see BC concede the deuce.
Gotta go to my broom. Hard. Hard way back eight. Go, go,
Checking
go,
in
go.
on Newfoundland Labrador, Northern Ontario, and 1, 2, 3. Newfoundland Labrador, that's Brad Gushu. So this is what's facing Brad Jacobs.
Well, he needs to get to the inside. A nose hit will not give him shot. Has to hope to get a little bit of a roll.
Front end is back right off here.
He's a little full.
Uh-oh. And he'll roll away. It'll be a steal of one for Newfoundland Labrador to tie it. They'll go to the break in a 4-4 tie.
Perfect spot by Alberta. Just a simple hit and stay. Hope for a mistake out of Kevin Cooey. Taking quite a bit of ice here. She's going to take a little off of this one. He's not going to throw normal weight. That's a good idea. Better chance to hang around. It's like a control.
Clean.
Final stone for BC skip Jim Cotter.
Yep. High. Clean. Good.
That one really set that one again there. I think just nice.
He was straight at it because I like
This is
that.
a great chance for the deuce after giving up that 3 to BC and the cooling off. A good time to get it, just heading into the 5th end break.
I was going to kind of put that curl in.
Yeah, it did. I thought it might run a little bit and then sweep it at the end for it.
Stay hair more, Pat. Whoa, easy, whoa. Clean.
Final stone looking for the hit for a couple.
Easy, easy. Clean it.
Kevin
Clean now. Nice weight. Attaboy.
Boy.
Just like that. So Alberta regains a little momentum. They pick up 2. Now lead by 3 as we go to the break.
The 2012 Tim Hortons Brier is brought to you by World Financial Group. Proud to be a sponsor of the Season of Champions. Your dreams, our strategies. The 2012 Tim Hortons Brier is brought to you by Ford, official automotive partner of the Canadian Curling Association. By Capital One, what's in your wallet? And by M&M Meat Shops, hundreds of meal ideas, one aisle.
Let's quickly go over to sheet D. As it appears that maybe New Brunswick is sitting it's very close, but final rock is on the way now from Rob Fowler to the Brandon Curling Club, trying to rebound after losing in that extra end to Quebec. Run this back and hold the shooter. You might.
Okay, we got our one. Sorry, Rob.
Get 3 if you just nibbled. Nope, he jammed it, stuffed it, so it's just 1. Manitoba leads 3-2 going to the break. In our game, what a quick start it was for Alberta, up 4-0, but they get something back. Score 2 and 5. Alberta's leading with their brand new third, Pat Simmons, and Pat's with Kathy.
Pat, your team comes out with such a great start, and you let them back in. Do you feel now that you've got the momentum back?
Yeah, it was nice to bounce back and get that too. Obviously, we played a pretty good end there, and you hate giving up a big end after you get a little lead, but I guess that's the beauty of a lead for sure.
Talk about the third end. How hard is it for you as a skip to look back now, and Kevin's skipping, and all of these rocks are building up in the third end? Is it tough?
No, I'm completely comfortable under Kevin. He knows what he's doing, obviously, and I'm just there to support him. But no, not at all.
Good luck.
Thank you.
Let's take a look, Linda, at the numbers after 5.
Well, really, when you look at the steal, that came because Jim Cotter is struggling a little bit in this game, and Jim Cotter is down at 75. But interestingly enough, not too much difference between the two teams, and we've been tracking those thirds. They are both at 90%. So the mistakes are actually coming more on strategy, Vic.
The numbers after 5 are brought to you by Tim Hortons. Time for Tim's. BC will have the last rock when we come back. Alberta and Cooey have the lead.
Just coming to the Briers, obviously being our third one in a row now, it's a lot more comfortable feeling for us. It's familiar ground, all the jitters are out.
We can compete with these guys. We just have to be consistent. And as a skip, I've matured. I think I don't get into as trouble as much as I used to.
And that will be the featured game when Kathy and Ryan Mudrick are with you. Sunday morning, our first of 3 draws a day. Sunday at 9:30 a.m. Eastern Time, Brad Jacobs against Mike Goody. Now that game will be on sheet D. And just moments ago, this is the Northern Ontario 5th. This is Joe Scharf. And there he is right beside sheet D. And in his little magic book, what, charting stones?
I think so.
Absolutely. Just checking to see what the other teams are throwing. And especially the skips. Usually the skip picks a good pair.
Do not adjust your set, but that's how our cameramen see the game through their eyepieces as we welcome you back on this Saturday night, our first Saturday here in Saskatoon, the Tim Hortons Brier. Alberta gets 2 and 5, so they have a 3-point lead. The first game for both these teams as they were idle this afternoon for draw 1. And it'll be BC that does have the last rock, playing the Redstones here in 6.
Good weight. Control.
Oh. BC is behind in this game, but they have that glimmer of hope. They were way behind in the third end and got the mistakes they needed and got 3 with the hammer using a corner guard. So the corner guard has gone up again. Alberta came into the house twice and there was a hit exchange there, and now BC will try and use that guard.
Yellow rocks from Alberta aren't very dangerous for BC either, behind the tee line or off to the side, and now they can come right around this corner guard and apply some pressure.
And they'll try and do that with BC second Ty Griffith.
Line's good. That's pretty good.
It's probably to be expected, but Ty is the low person on the ice at 70% after 5. We talked about the nerves, and he did have the wreck in the one end when he was trying to get by a guard and get the one in the house. That was a pretty big miss.
Keep it going, keep it going.
Good. And he goes a little deep here, trying to wrap it around. Goes back 8 foot, slides a little too far. Shot rock is, in fact, Alberta. Back 8.
Had to be buried, though, Vic.
Yeah, does the job, doesn't it, Linda?
Yeah. Not too terrible. And we're not going to see that mistake again of just coming around and tapping it quietly and giving up a big end. So Kevin Cooey rattles off that guard.
Yeah.
Halfway tight.
Line's good.
Spin over curl. Just half. No. Definitely a cutter.
They're talking about that stone. A little hard to tell because Ty doesn't give it a lot of rotation, and it seems to be breaking pretty early. But they may be right about that rock.
It's a very fine line, isn't there? You just get it down to about 2 rotations, maybe 1.5 rotations out of your hand.
Just he's crazy, right? Or you could do this.
So if there is extra movement in a stone, like as they describe it, a cutter, Russ, it may not cut initially, but as it slows, then it bites.
Yeah, it's almost impossible till about 2/3 way down before you can distinguish any differences. But as it slows down, you're right, they'll start to curl more than others. And that was either a sharper rock or the lack of handle, and they'll have to figure that out. But they think it's the rock.
Yep, yep.
That means the one in the house is open for Pat Simmons.
Yep. Clean, clean. Hard, 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 hard. Hard, hard, hard.
Could have played soft weight there, but hitting it dead on and leaving it behind the tee line behind the guard would not be smart either. So the easiest way to roll away was to throw some speed.
For Kevin Folk, of course, this is a homecoming of sorts.
Be there. Where?
His dad, of course,
White toffee. Not room.
living here, Saskatchewan native, member of the Legislative Assembly at one point in time, won his first Canadian World Championship playing for Saskatchewan.
Lots of weight.
He remembers coming and watching his dad at the Brier in 1989 when he was 8 years of age.
Sit down.
And he's going to go back and out.
Now that's the one thing about playing third and the difference from playing second. There are those shots that are absolutely vital to the setup of the end. Second, you might get away with a half shot, but at third, the rock has to be exactly in the right spot. And for Kevin, that one going through, you saw it on his face. He knows exactly what the problem is. That was a great chance to set up the deuce, and the chance goes away.
Perfect.
Player. He's a player.
When you see it 6 inches through the rings, you can't say, well, gee, I was just a hair heavy, because you weren't. You've got all that paint in front of that, plus that great brushing, and he'd love that one back.
So somehow you have to park it. You have to recover from the miss, because this one still gives you a chance. The guard's gone. That was your better opportunity. Against Kevin Cooey, freezes off and go very quickly out of the rings, but you have to give your skip a chance by making this.
Whoa!
Curl. Tucking a piece behind, or
another one that's a little strong.
What do you like?
Just about.
You got just about all of it, probably.
Just peel it.
Yeah. Here? A little more?
Hair more.
This has changed in recent years with these type of stones and the fast surface. You could throw a soft weight, just a hack weight, hit this out, use your brushers, but they take the curl right out of play here. Just throw it down there with a controlled peel weight. Basically put the broom right where they want it to end up. Never going to hang around, but that's not a problem with 2 yellow Alberta stones in the rings already.
Skip stones here in
Clean.
6.
Clean.
Kevin Cooey.
Clean. Throw.
You saw Jim Cotter talking to Kevin Folk. It's hard. You're a skip like Kevin Cooey, Jim Cotter. You're trying to manage the game, manage the strategy, the ice, all the other things. And when a player is struggling, and it wasn't early in the game, just this last end I'm referring to, when Kevin Folk has 2 misses, suddenly it's the last drop thrower. You're facing a couple, and you've got to try and manage him to get him back in the game. The team have to try and help him out.
Tie side. I might go on to the red one over there, too. What are you looking for here?
3.
Okay. Got room right now. Got room.
He is.
7-8. Gotta work a bit.
And what did we say last week or a week and a half ago in Red Deer? Toughest shot, you believe enough?
It is. It certainly is. But when it's a single like this, when there's a bit of a wall or a pocket, you're coming around a corner guard, it's easier. But here's a great example. This is bang on weight. but just doesn't curl quite enough. And that looks like a bad mistake. When you're taking 5.5 feet of ice, it's hard to get that line perfect. And now it's just a simple hit and stay.
Less ice.
Yeah, real good weight. Yeah. Oh, I like firm anyway.
It's interesting, though, how different eras look at the game. I was talking to a couple of gentlemen at the opening banquet last night from the corn room era. And they would look at today's game and go, you don't know what tough is, because in the corn room era, you took a couple of feet for a takeout. And by comparison, the games were so different that they thought theirs was maybe more difficult than today's is.
Oh, for sure. And well, the ice wasn't as good to start with, and you're right, the chaff from the brooms allowed the rocks to curl like crazy, and the brushing or the sweeping in that case was very important, because if you got off it for a split second, you would pick up enough chaff from the straw to take off on you. And you're right, a lot of the hits moved as much as some of the hack waders do now.
And you know what, I feel this way about most sports, in fact all sports. I don't think you can compare eras, really.
No.
You just can't compare the NHL of 20 years ago or 30 years ago to the NHL of today, or even football, for example. So they were great, and they're great now.
Yeah, I think the dramatic change in the ice conditions has made it so that we're looking at numbers in the 90% range for a lot of these players. And when we used to think 75% was a huge game because of the unpredictable nature of the corn room and the ice.
Bumper. Hit.
So BC missing an opportunity here to set something up, and now facing a couple with their last, and Cotter.
Solid bump. Oh, easy, clean. Yep. Clean. 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 Yep.
Go. And right to the nose for a single point. BC here in 6. Alberta will have the last drop when we come back to Saskatoon. Well, we're looking forward to next year's Skins game, because it'll be the Dominion All-Star Curling Skins game. The game features a brand new qualifying format with you across the country determining who will play. You can vote for your favorite men's teams online at tsn.ca, and then the top 4 skips will select the remaining 12 players through a random draw. We'll have that for you January 17th of 2013. The voting will take place next November and December. For more details, go to tsn.ca/skinsgame. It's going to be exciting next year at Casino-Rama. Our opening day, draw 2 of the Tim Hortons Brier here in Saskatoon. BC just couldn't get anything generated, had to take the single facing a couple, so it is Alberta leading.
Line's real good, guys.
By 2, and once again Alberta.
Real short of that.
And the team from the Glencoe Club in Calgary do have last rock here in 7, playing the Yellowstones.
We have to expect the misses on the opening day, nerves, not understanding the ice necessarily at this stage. And for BC, what they needed was a rock out in front. It slid into the rings. It could be hit. It was by Alberta. The second guard does go up for BC. And so now a come around by Alberta.
Curling now. Yep. Still all there. Really curling. Whoa, if we can. Whoa. Yep, right up.
Easy. Whoa. Easy. I think I might have picked.
Yeah, that maybe caught something. That went sideways, and then it fortunately for Alberta didn't continue to go sideways. It curled hard, but didn't wreck on the guard.
It's perfect.
Where is it? Top 4. Got room. Still top 4. Yep. Hard, guys. Hard.
Hard, guys. Hard.
Keep her coming. Keep her coming. Right to the button. Good throw, Ty. Too much ice.
No curl, eh? We got the yellows and that, so.
Like that.
Dropping in on the game between New Brunswick and Manitoba. New Brunswick is down by 1. I see one to the top 8.
You don't want to stick around.
And is there a chance here to get maybe 2 and 3 for New Brunswick, Kathy?
Oh, for sure there is. For Rob Fowler, just really struggling with draw weight tonight. A little heavy on the first, little light on the second. Great shot New Brunswick made on their first one, buried for shot, so he knows draw weight. If he can tap that yellow Manitoba stone back a couple of inches, 3 does come into play.
Terry Odeshaw to Carl Moncton in his second Brier appearance. Been an alternate a couple of times with you, Russ.
Yeah, for sure, and played with Grant forever, and just has to finish.
Going to find the hole. Oh, he did. And so it will be just the single at the top of the 8th center line, it looks like. See his brother Grant looking around the edges for a 3-3 tie.
That was a big point. That's one of those where I think you play the draw, and if you happen to get a tap, then that's fine, but you don't play that much weight.
Exactly, and when you do play that much weight, you have to cut the ice down by about 16 inches. It's just hard to get that in your old noggin, that anything more than draw weight tracks a little bit. And, he'd love that one back. They played a good end there. They had 3 and 4 in the rings right from the get-go.
Line's real good. Yep.
And the chance to take advantage of a struggling Manitoba team out of the gate here. Rob Fowler from Brandon.
Yeah, Rob missed both his draws, as Kathy mentioned. He's just not quite sharp. He's close.
Is that less weight? Or?
Just a foot heavy in the first one, a foot light in the second one, and nearly gave up 3.
I'm not so. One a bit.
Go through the hole.
Intern.
Thin enough, you can get it to everything, ain't moving?
Yeah.
I like that. I like trying that.
I don't try and hit it across the top of everything.
You can see the yellow one that is just partly in the rings, and you could move it onto the red, but the angles are pretty tough. And again, learning their lesson. They've had some mistakes from BC already this end. They're going to try this angle slice.
It's fine.
Not
good shot.
Nice situation for Alberta, though. No real guards to hide behind, and one at the top of the floor. It's tough to beat.
We need it.
It's kind of helping us with that one, right?
Yeah.
I think even back 4 is good, right? Freeze.
Try and bring one in there, eh?
Hey, Rick, back here's good. Back 4.
Good.
Yeah, they're saying back 4 now. The thinking there is it's so tough to bury around a rock that's already in the 4 foot, so the deeper they bring it, the more curl they'll get.
It also means you can play a series, and if you happen to end up back 4, they freeze, you freeze, you might actually get into a good spot.
Give you a little less.
Although I'm doubting the freeze is coming from Alberta.
No, that's true.
Very light, eh?
5-4.
Line's real good. Where is it?
4 or 5.
Yep. Hard, guys, hard. Hard. Right here. Yep. Keep her coming. Yeah, it's a good spot. Good sweep.
That's a shot, isn't it?
We'll get second out of it.
I don't know. You guys don't like this?
What else do you like?
Well, big problems for Prince Edward Island in their game with Nova Scotia, Kathy. A chance for 3 here, and Nova Scotia's had to make a lineup change. Or, pardon me, PEI.
Yeah, it has been a struggle not only on the ice, but also with the team as we watch Nova Scotia drawing for 3 points here. Tyler Harrison second developed muscle cramps in the middle of this end, and so he was pulled and has gone off to the sports treatment area, and their second, Andrew Robinson, their 5th rather, has come in at second. So you hate to see that so early in the week.
So a draw for 3 for Nova Scotia, trying to make it a perfect start on this opening day.
Shades of the Scotties, Linda, all the sickness and injury.
Yeah, Mike Goody has the cold over on the PEI team, so not a good start for them.
Missed their flight because of weather out of Montreal. Couldn't get to Toronto in time. Had to go reroute to Regina. Drive from Regina to here. And it's been one of those weeks so far.
If you believe in omens.
Yeah.
There's a lot of bad ones on their side. Tough start.
I mean, it's pretty tough.
Yeah, I agree.
So Pat went down the ice from the hack end. The players preferred the yellow onto red. From the house end, I think Pat agrees it's red onto red.
The yellow red's easier, but it's going to jam on something that's yellow, and that's not going to help Alberta. So they're going to try to peel this one. It's definitely going to go, if he makes it properly, onto the other red, but they'd love to hopefully squirt it out in the open.
Whoa.
Has to hit it incredibly thin to do that.
Yep. Yeah. Ha! Whoa, 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 whoa.
Well done.
Shot.
Because now it can be removed. You run that yellow straight back, the one at the top of the 12 foot, the red disappears, and it was locked in there before. Good shot.
It's good. We're laying 2, aren't we? That's all we can do.
Look how thin he hits this. Very accurate, high weight.
Get him in there. So
And the benefit was the other yellow stayed in the 8-foot area.
For now. I think you got to be regular.
Sorry?
A little flatter roll. Reg?
You like this?
And although BC can use that one to roll in, I think you'd rather have BC hitting at this stage.
Yeah, because if they come in here, something like that, there's such an easy angle here to run right across.
Solid house.
You might want to wait till Jim's.
Yeah, I like this.
They want solid house.
Okay.
Therefore, they've changed the game plan. No more coming around that center.
Now that's a victory for Alberta when you think that you're ahead and with hammer and you've got the opposition hitting a wide open rock.
Clean.
Close. Yep. Whoa.
Yep.
Whoa.
Yep.
Yep.
Whoa, whoa, whoa.
Yes.
Whoa.
Finish. Go.
Oh, well done.
Very
Boy,
nice.
Kevin Folk, that's a nice bounce back. Remember, he put one through and then to go.
Great ice call. We've said that they've struggled a little bit with putting down the broom, but that one was perfect.
Control.
You can get the red one top 8 by running this back.
Alberta would love to do is not only make this, but try to leave a raise or two, not stagger them. If Pat can roll a little bit, there'll be a couple of yellow raises that really BC can't defend them all.
Whoa. Hard. Hard. Gotta go. Go.
There it is. Very nice shot.
Pat Simmons.
Shot.
Good call, Kev.
Good call.
And timeout is being called by British Columbia and Jim Cotter. Each team given 2 90-second timeouts, and that'll bring two-time Canadian, two-time world champion Rick Folk to the
When you
ice.
come right here, he's got free go on the blast, right?
What do you think? Hey, it might be just them. Take a look.
Goes over the top, eh?
Stairs.
What are you thinking?
They shot?
Their shot. I think their shot.
Double?
Double.
Firm weight, just
Anything
off
over
nose.
curl, if we go nut, right? That's not the end of the world.
Make sure we stick on the shooter.
Yeah, if we over.
Oh, yeah.
If we over curl a bit, it's not bad, right?
Yeah, if we hook it a bit there, that's not bad.
Yeah. Nose hit.
Yeah.
Okay.
We just need to cross it ahead, right?
Yeah, regular on the nose is good.
Yeah.
You know, we talk about other sports and the esteem that some players are held to. Rick Folk is one of those people. You know, last night again, and there was Sam Richardson was there. Whenever you see the Richardson family, but Folk is held in such high regard here in this province. He is one of the legends and always will be. He may have gone on to BC, but he will always be to people here the Saskatchewan curler.
Yes, definitely held in high regard in both provinces. Certainly here, interesting that he played in the 1980 Brier, won that with great corn broom sweeping, with a fairly wide open style based on ice conditions. Then he went to BC and won much later, and his key shot was the draw to the button.
Was it ever? I know all about it. He beat me in the Brier final.
Newfoundland Labrador, and boy, the guys from Ballyhaley and St. John's are keeping the pressure on Brad Jacobs, Kathy.
Well, they sure are. Brad Gouchou's last stone was the second shot. So it is 2 for Brad Gouchou right now. They looked at angles, Northern Ontario did, but really realized that no matter what they played, they would concede 1. So this is the attempted draw to the lid for the single.
Not heavy.
Oh, he's got a bust for him, too. And it will not. So now it's a steal of 1 for sure, and it looks like that's all it is.
How many? 1?
It is, fellas. Thank you. Newfoundland Labrador up by 1.
I mean, if I make this, it's good, I guess.
Yeah, might be, though. You're right.
Well, there was no
Right, like
question
if I
that
ever miss
BC
it,
needed to move some rocks. It was just what might be plan B if we don't make the perfect double, but there's the double.
Coming in, I mean, I guess then it's better I can run this at least.
That freeze where I went back house, but not drastically, like a few feet, and they pounded that a long ways. To
Yeah,
top
they did.
8,
They had
right?
the rooms on the whole way.
I like what I see to BC, you know, other than they showed up a half hour late in this game and down 4-0, scoring 4 points to 2 against this powerful Alberta team, and possible chance here too to maybe steal another one.
Like this?
Well, I can see why you're wanting to play that other one.
Well, if I ever stagger these up, right, that's all I'm worried about. Stagger or miss it the other way. All of a sudden, he can steal 2, right?
We can play that other one.
Whatever you like, Kev.
I mean, if I spin it in, he probably just hits it, and then we got a nose hit, go 3 up, playing 8, right?
Well, it's going to be tough for him to throw a guard. But, I mean, it's going to be tough for you to spin it over to the 8-foot there somewhere without...
Yeah, let's just make this then.
Talking about running the yellow one in versus the double.
I think they're trying to run the yellow one either onto the shot rock or that top one and just be in the ring somewhere, and then Kevin almost has to hit it, and then you'd have BC would have to hit it, and you'd almost have a wide open hit to be 3 up playing 8 is what Kevin was thinking. But this double is available.
Hard! Go!
Oh, he drove it by.
Okay.
That's what he was worried about, though, staggering those 2 yellows and a chance to sink another one for British Columbia.
It'd be hard.
Okay. It's almost the exact same line that mine came in on, right?
Yeah, it's going to finish real hard. Nope.
Is that where I was?
Yeah,
or?
no, you were right in here. That'd be good.
I find this interesting.
Yes.
Why with this turn
I'm thinking about 3-4 feet.
is he going this way?
Well, the longer you're going around 2 rocks, and you might as well use the longest one, gives you maximum amount of curl, Vic. If you go the other way, you get less time to hide in behind that one in the 8-foot.
Well, that means you could set up a double if you don't get buried.
Yeah.
Okay. I guess
top 12, top 8.
Yeah. Okay. I mean, I'm just thinking that if you know what you're going to get down there. You could also tuck a little piece behind.
You could, but if you only tuck a little piece, that yellow is pretty simple with the rock you're throwing back. You come around this way, you leave it a little bit open. That yellow raise isn't working.
Okay. Final stone for Jim Cotter. BC putting a little pressure on Alberta.
Wait over. Got room right now. Right here. Wait for it. Got room. Wait for it. Switch. Whoa. Whoa. Yep. Yep. Hard then. Hard. 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 As far as it goes. Hard. Go.
And they'll drag it to the edge of the 4. Griffith and Sawatsky to sit 2.
Just buried enough, and that's what we were worried about. If he does the other way and doesn't get enough buried, there would have been a red double, but it's just tucked a corner enough there that you would jam that red one that was just thrown by Cotter, and a steal of 1. So no choice but to play the free draw here. Kevin hasn't had to throw too many draws.
Same.
Yeah.
This game has had a lot of ins and outs, ups and downs, momentum changes. This is a big shot.
He leads by 2. Alberta and Kevin Cooey now drawing against a couple.
No backing. Line's good.
And look at Thiessen on the left and Rycroft on the right. A little dust. Now a little more. Heads up, having a look. Where are we going to take this? We need a piece of the white. Bite the button. Give me a little bit of the white. Oh, and did it stop now? I think it slid too far. Pat Simmons. Going to call for a measure. But from this angle, Nolan, thank you, Nolan. Please, Nolan.
It is their game, Vic.
Oh, okay. I think it's red.
I'm with you, Vic.
So BC looks like at this, from our vantage point, certainly, that they may have just stolen 1.
Just a little overcooking on that brushing. They could have let that curl a lot farther, obviously, to tap that red.
I hope the camera's wrong here, too. Over there.
Thanks,
So from BC, watch the micrometer. Right there, just a little bit past the 2. Now all the way around we go to the Alberta stone, just thrown. Will it move? Will the micrometer move here? Not enough. Thank you very much. Nicely done by the umpire. BC will pick up the steal of 1. Continuing with our updates on this Saturday night, let's go over and check in on Manitoba and New Brunswick. And it hasn't been an easy opening day for Manitoba and Rob Fowler, Kathy.
Well, it certainly hasn't, and this end no different. He's been in trouble all end. Rob made a good draw, really good draw on his first one. Buried almost all of it, but Terry Odishaw just picked it out. So he's playing the same shot. Needs to get back to the 4-foot for the single.
T-line, guys.
There's one center line covered, top edge of the 4. Second shot is back of the 8. Needs full 4-foot. Big drag now for the champions from Brandon. Very nice. By Fowler, trying to rebound after a loss earlier today to Quebec, while New Brunswick dropped their opener to Ontario and Glenn Howard. As on this Saturday night, our opening day coverage, the Tim Hortons Brier from Saskatoon. And BC, as that last rock draw by Kevin Cooey slid that much too far. Steal of 1. So here we go, and Alberta has the lead, and they do have the last rock playing yellow stones as we go to Nova Scotia and PEI. Final rock is on the way from Mike Goody.
Playing the run double.
Needs to spill it far enough and sit. No, so it'll be just the 1. 1 for PEI, top of the 4-foot to make it 9-4.
What's that? Yeah, just...
Well, I like the call in our sheet. We see teams play the tick, trying to move the center line guard away. Often only in the last end, and in Europe and other parts of the world, they play it all the time. It's a part of their strategy. That was the attempt that was made by Alberta this end. Just pushed that guard through, so it had to come back.
It's a wonderful call, because if the rule wasn't there, if the free guard zone wasn't there, you'd be hitting that all day. So by just playing that soft weight, you get the same result. Unfortunately for Alberta, just a foot too far.
Hey, sweep in there, Jimmy. Keep you warm, eh?
Yeah. Wait only.
I like it.
Lots of room.
And as we often see, you play the tick once. If it doesn't work and the second guard goes up, it's a come-around call now by Kevin Cooey for his lead, Nolan.
Right off.
Catch some curl. Catch some curl.
No.
Catch some curl. Catch some curl.
Let her die, let her die. Okay. Okay, good. Shot. Attaboy, no.
That one stopped the last foot. It kind of stopped it abruptly. You'll have to keep an eye on it. The Quebec game in the extra end looked like it slowed down just a little wee bit. And day one, that's very common.
So for top 8, I think, eh?
Yeah. Throw T-line.
Okay.
Looks like a lot.
Oh, this rock might come down a bit too, eh?
Whoa. Off.
I'm saying this is the slower rock, but it better be. It's sliding pretty good here.
No.
I don't know.
Yep.
I think sometimes you talk yourself into throwing it that much harder. Quite often there is a fair difference, but that difference when you add the brushing into the equation is not so much, and you have to hand it to the brushers when your team is down.
When you have a sharp rock like that too, you'll notice it in practice. You'll notice it in the first couple ends when there's pebble. Once the pebble wears off, that slow rock isn't quite as slow, relatively speaking.
You figure.
4 or 5.
Whoa. 5. Whoa, if you can. Whoa, guys. Whoa, if you're in. Whoa, Nolan.
Carter Rycroft throwing the second stones for Alberta.
Line's real good. Wait only.
Whoa.
Line them up. Yep, gotta go. Finish it up. Go.
Good. Boy, and in he comes. Goodness, the finish.
Just perfect.
Hit. There's fine. Hit. Short's fine.
Well, BC thought they would be facing one kind of end. When you see your opposition, Alberta, try the tick with the first, you're thinking more open play. Now you've seen them wrap twice around those center guards perfectly. So now this is a setup shot being asked of Ty, trying to put a rock in position that can be moved into those ones in the top 8, top 4.
And did you hear Jim Cotter, Russ?
Where is it?
Short is fine.
Yes.
Re-emphasizing. We'll get you there.
Yep.
Give it to us. Give it to the brusher.
Hard, guys.
It's that long one that Ty just threw that's hurting them.
Whoa. Good.
That one actually over-curled where he was attempting to put it. Good weight by Ty. It's been a fair amount of head scratching in this game. Kevin Cooey probably thought at this stage he would start to open it up. Not so sure at this point.
Peel the top one, intern.
Peel. He's going here. And then what you can't, it's not like you can hit that.
You make the intern draw it straight. If you miss it.
Timeout.
Strange situation because you've got two in such a nice spot. You peel the guard, it almost makes it easier for BC.
Right? And, I mean, he's not going to.
Yeah, I guess.
He's got to leave us something, doesn't he? I don't know what else.
So here comes Blake McDonald.
pretty tough draw for us to make there.
Part of that team that won the Canadian World Championship 2 years ago.
Just peel the one, takes the one.
That's double.
I was actually thinking if you could run the 2 over top of the 1.
You like the triple?
Huh? Well, he's going around outside wide here, right? If he gets one in there, you're probably not going to be able to get it.
It's a pretty easy double peel here, though, right? And then, I mean, we might have a bit of ours plus this side. We can't guard both, is what we're thinking, right?
But one's good too.
With the out-turn? You think you'd play the out-turn thin and make the...
I guess you could do that, too. There's enough room in there.
What do you mean?
I guess you could play the out-turn and play it a little aggressive, right? And try and... You can get them all moving, right? And do we want to do that, I guess, right?
Well, that's the thing. Do we want to? I mean, those aren't bad the way they are.
They're not bad. I mean, he's always going to have that in-turn draw if we leave it.
So we're not sitting that bad, right? So.
Yeah, I'm okay with that if you guys are. I don't think you can draw. He's just freezing to whatever you draw to. So.
No, I agree. Yeah.
No, exactly.
Yeah.
Okay.
Blake suggested coming across the top is what he meant is this longest red one. Hit it to the right side of the screen, and if you hit the second one in the right spot, you might get all 3 flying. And I think they've decided just to peel the top rock.
Back to the original thought.
Yep. Yep. I go, just hold it.
Good. Good.
We'll never get enough to really bump anything significant, but
no.
I guess if we stayed there, might give us some option. That one comes here, then it might line those up, give you a chance, right? It's either that or we try this, but if we miss that, then we're hooped.
Yeah, I think that's our
So
bail
just this.
later. Okay.
Well, we talked, Lynn, about the battle of the thirds, you know, Folk moving up and the new addition, Simmons.
Simmons is playing so well and adding, as we saw in the strategy area. Kevin Folk started well, but had those draws, those mistakes that went through, took away the deuce opportunity, and that did drop him down, now below Pat Simmons' numbers.
The player numbers are brought to you by Capital One. What's in your wallet?
Alberta expected BC. Yeah.
I was going to say this is
You're
a bit
from
of a
BC. You tell me.
Yeah, I think everybody probably thought they would play the wrap around the other side. They're actually trying to come to the yellows and tap them a bit.
Yeah, I don't like it. I don't like that call. It's dangerous. Ooh.
You know, it's interesting because Rick Folk actually came out, as he can, to talk, so I'm sure they had worked this through. As we go over Newfoundland, Labrador, Northern Ontario, from what I see, Newfoundland, Labrador is sitting the 1, Kathy, back 4, just back T-line.
You are correct. That is the final stone just thrown by Brad Gushu. So for Brad Jacobs, will follow him down. No shot for 2. It's about coming on top and scoring the 1.
To tie the game, possibly, for the Northern Ontario champions, Brad Jacobs out of the Sioux Curlers Association in Sault Ste. Marie. Boy, now it's close. Move it far enough. Just may have.
I think it's 1 yellow, but
we're going to have a look as we watch Pat Simmons.
Pretty easily.
The ones those reds for BC jiggled around. There's a double.
Whoa! Wow! That would have been backseat. We'll throw a measure. Measure.
So they're going to measure. I think we heard Ryan Fry say that he thought it was 1 yellow.
Just a hair high, right?
Just a hair high, yeah.
Is that going to kill our back ones?
Might.
Really nice double, unfortunately, for BC when they wrecked. They set that off, and now a 3 in a really dangerous spot. As much as the BC team would like to play an aggressive shot, they have no choice but to bail here and just throw a bullet down here. Try to get to the inside of that top red. There's a really easy double, but can they get all 3? I think the middle one might stick. It's hard to say.
Kevin Folk trying to get British Columbia out of some trouble.
Whoa, come up.
3 in a row, and he does. Stuff. Oh, bad break at the back, 2. So trying to get rid of a double stuff. And Alberta with last rock, still sitting 2.
Tough one. I think it did kill it. I didn't think it did jam it.
No.
They're offset a little bit, right?
Well, that was a bad break, but I really do think it was the call they played when they tried to come the one side instead of wrapping the other way. That little mistake on a rub, that started the whole thing going the wrong direction for BC. Now a chance to open it right up.
Playing a softer weight here. I think they're going to actually try to stay. But I like your call, Lyndon. Rolling out's not a problem here.
Easy. Yep. Easy. Whoa. Yep. Yep. Yeah. Real hard.
Just can't nose it.
Hard. Gotta go, hard.
Decent. Right cross. And they'll roll it over to sit 3.
Mr. Simmons has come to play tonight.
Very nice control of that weight.
Rush.
Good shots.
Yeah. Nice. 2 doubles.
And after the measure, it was 1 indeed for Northern Ontario to tie it at 5. Newfoundland Labrador will have the last draw.
Plays that, he might be out of the rings. Make a double and roll half buried.
I think so.
Kind of, that's what I'm looking at.
Throw a bit of weight at it.
Like good firm or?
Yeah, because we got to make that and roll a bit.
Just cross it a hair, right?
Yeah. Want to roll it about half around.
Show them a piece, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Kathy, as we go over to New Brunswick, Manitoba. Manitoba is sitting 2, but they're behind the tee line, just back button. Final rock on the way, Terry Ottershaw.
Well, and it is tricky because the one on the left was a little bit higher than the one on the right. So to get shot, he needs to nut the one that is right on the center line.
I think he's trying to blank.
Or you can blank.
Actually.
How's that?
That's good.
A backup blank. So it remains 4-3 going to 9.
Big speed coming here.
Extra weight to make the double and get the roll, but you still have to hit it in the right spot, and he will not.
Okay. Shot.
So it is set up here for Alberta, possibly with exchange of stones, maybe set themselves up for 2.
It doesn't do much up there, eh?
Go close on it, but
We can really go.
It's a pretty thin double.
Maybe in a foot.
It's the best. I think I agree. It's the best spot for sure.
It's not bad if he's playing the double, though. You never think he'll play the hit and roll? So if he makes it, it's not great.
I'm dead on the nose.
Just control.
Okay.
You know, go back to that interview that Pat Simmons did with Kathy at the 5th end break when she was asking him about, as from a skip's point of view. Because he's still thinking as a skip. He has to. He knows the game too well. But he's bought in, as Wayne Middaugh has bought in, to play 3rd position for Glenn Howard. Yeah. He's totally comfortable here, right?
Yep.
And it shows. It shows.
And that's not easy. Not everybody can do that. It's a lot of people say it's hard to go from vice to skip. It's equally as hard to go from skip to vice.
Off! Gotta be off! Off! Okay.
And he sits there, just rolls it slightly, half a stone maybe away.
It's one of those games where it feels like Kevin Cooey is looking at the pessimistic side of the world. He keeps saying, well, if I do this, they could hit and roll. And what I like about Pat is he keeps bringing him back to the shot. You just need to execute it this way, and it'll work out. And he kind of says it in that nice, calm manner.
Which is dangerous, right? I mean, it's...
What Kevin said he didn't mind was leaving the double. What he didn't want Jim Cotter to do was to play the hit and roll back over behind that top 12-foot stone.
BC could actually draw around the rock on the top of the 12-foot and then be very dangerous. But the only way you could probably eliminate the deuce here, unless this roll's made perfect.
You set that just a hair too. Mind you, I don't mind that throw. And yeah, I think the other is true too. Like just probably max.
I'm surprised a bit he's playing this still.
Hit and roll, yeah.
Why is he surprised that he's playing the hit and roll?
Well, the odds of rolling dead buried are like slim and none. Like Jimmy Cotter's wonderful hitter, so you probably make me eat my words, but there's probably about a 10% chance of making this, and then it's going to be a wide open hit for 2 for Alberta. The come around would be a lot easier shot to make, albeit it would be a possible chance to give up a 3. But
well, this is all on its own now.
Hard, Kev.
Hard, Kev!
Gonna try and jump it, try and roll it as far as they can, and they get it to the center line.
now they wish they played the come around.
You're going to also watch to see how easy those rolls are by playing that straighter turn.
Yes.
Right? We're going to have to watch that during the week. They may have to go to the inside out turn to try and get it over there. You got a long way to go.
Okay, look, just board, good boards.
So final stone here in 8.
Clean.
After giving up the steal of a single in 7 to close it here, Alberta looking to get 2 right back.
Nice throw. Attaboy, Kevin. Good job, guys.
Just like that, as Pat Simmons has nicely done to the front end of Nolan Thiessen and Carter Rycroft. Alberta extends their lead. It's time now for the M&M Meat Shop's Final End Challenge. Right after the game, go to finalend.ca. Enter the secret word for a chance to win a trip for 2 to see the 2013 World Junior Curling Championships in Sochi, Russia. The first 100 entries will have a chance to win a $50 M&M gift card, and all participants will get an M&M discount. And we will give you that secret word shortly on this Saturday night, our opening day of the Tim Hortons Brier from the Credit Union Center here in Saskatoon. It's a big 2 points for Alberta as we go to 9. Now leading 8-5 over BC, and the team from the Vernon and Kelowna Curling Club, skipped by Jim Cotter, will have the last rock playing the Redstones.
8.
Well, that last end was interesting. One of those you might use in that clinic, because it was the start of the end where BC was taking a lot of risk. They were putting up 2 center guards. They were trying to get rocks in behind it. And then they made the switch. When Alberta started hitting, BC kind of went with them. And that's the choices you have to make. I know the score was close, and it looks tempting to try and limit. But the plan didn't seem to be to start to hit.
We have a final, and what a start for Nova Scotia and Jamie Murphy out of CFB Halifax. Make the final 10-4 over PEI. 2 wins on this opening day for this rookie team, skipped by Jamie Murphy.
We're here, guys. Yep. As far as it goes. As far as it goes. Go.
So now you need guards if you're BC, and you hope that they don't make double peels.
This has got double peel written all over it, just a little less than half. Carter Rycroft will take a real good crack at it. Make sure the top one first, obviously.
Off.
No guy. Slides behind.
So the hard part for BC is that that guard that is left is so tight to the rings that putting up a second guard and not leaving a stagger would be tough, so they're going right in.
Yeah, you really have to be careful who you're playing against here, and Carter's so good at those. Too many opportunities to make that double field.
Line's good. Top 8.
Yeah, line. Line's good.
Line, no. Lots of room, guys. Yep. Yep. Hard, far as it goes, far as it goes. Hard, 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 hard. Good sweep.
What do you have? Half. Just board.
A little softer weight here, even though he's up 3. He'd like to keep this in front of the tee line. That's the only way to do it. Still board weight. Tick the guard's not awful.
Really hard. 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 Hard, guys. Gotta go. Hard, right up.
Good, good.
Great throw.
Nice job by Beeson and Simmons, who really,
That's actually really
know
good.
that he threw the 4th stones last year. He's more used to the brushing, I'm sure, but still a great job for someone who doesn't brush very much.
He's in great shape. He kind of disappoints me as an ex-skip. You're not.
Wasn't part of that union
No,
where you didn't get in shape.
Should have got that memo. He's in really good shape, and he works at it.
And as a chiropractor, I'm sure he knows how to do it properly as well. Wouldn't be good for business if he threw out the shoulder.
Yeah, hurry! Whoa, whoa, whoa. All right, it's good.
Oh, Carter, what do you think? Nose or a hair roll?
I got his nose.
Yeah.
Hey. Just boards.
Good call also. Just going to stay right there. If BC goes around the corner guard, you've got a pretty easy half-rock run back here if Pat hits this dead on. A lot of teams would maybe peel a guard in this situation.
Clean.
Whoa, easy, easy.
Easy. Whoa. Clean. Yeah.
Clean up. Clean.
Yeah. Whoa.
Just clean, just clean.
Bumper.
This is a tough position for
No
BC.
hit.
They were really hoping to build up a deuce this end and try and steal. Playing 10. Things just have not set up for them. Now you're trying to manipulate Yellowstones rather than just being able to draw in behind your own rock.
Solid. Clean. Solid. Whoa. Whoa.
Whoa.
No. Solid. No.
No.
Come up.
Kip.
In a 5-5 tie, Northern Ontario is sitting one, almost frozen back 4. Final rock coming up for Brad Gushue, Kathy.
Well, that shot stone, that lovely draw just made by Brad Jacobs, really playing well tonight. This is the force for 1. Does need to get to the center.
I think it's close, guys.
Line's good.
So we got our first real look here at this young front end. Jeff Walker.
Perfect.
Line's good.
And Adam Casey.
See line, guys.
Brian Fry now has moved up to throw the 3rd stone
You
for
got backing.
Gushue.
Hard. Hard, guys, go.
Come on, guys.
Big drag now. Here comes Fry. A little bit more. Got to get the white. White the white.
Light control. No.
Oh, no.
Clean. Yeah.
It comes up light. And it's a steal of 1.
Hard. Gotta go. Hard. 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 Roll.
Great little double roll buried there. Both of them moving there with that soft weight and understanding the angles.
This might have been a hair soft.
The key was just the removal of the red.
Yeah, yours are just curling in that spot.
Yeah, they are. Yeah, they are.
I'm surprised he's coming around everything to this back one.
Once again, Alberta thinking that BC would be drawing and not hitting.
Alberta would be right with that assumption.
Surprising all of us again.
Like, it's nice to make this double, but it's going to be an awfully easy shot for Alberta.
Real nice weight. Real nice weight.
With Kevin playing that hit, that means that Jim Cotter is anticipating trying for a deuce with his own rocks.
Worried that wasn't going to finish up there for a bit.
I know.
First one was trying, it just never made that move.
No, exactly. You threw it real good.
I'm not going to baby this. So I'm thinking like,
I agree. Yeah.
Like, you thinking normal or?
I like just good here, yeah. If it's hanging, I'll try and make it way over.
Yeah, just don't stay. Just roll it just out, yeah.
We talked about it last week at the Scotties, how the person in the house and their ability to call plan B. Yes, nice to sit there, but also if it's going to roll, you have to take it far enough that you don't leave the stagger on the front one, and that's what Pat's already recognizing and communicating.
No.
Clean.
Clean.
Whoa.
No.
Off.
Yeah.
Whoa. Yep, hard, Pat. Go.
Okay. Well, Kathy, Manitoba, we'll know, lost earlier today. They looked like they were struggling early. Have they found their game now against New Brunswick?
Well, Rob Fowler's found draw weight, I'll tell you that. The in-off is the call here for Terry Odishaw.
A roll, but not
and it will not. And so that is a steal of 2 for Manitoba. 6-3 they lead now, going to 10.
Terry's fooling me. He's made some spectacular draws, and it's usually that shot he makes, the hero shot off the wall. Just overthrew that a bit.
Shade more. Just above tee.
Just like a rock above it?
Yeah.
Okay. Rock above tee is where we want to? Yeah.
Just really hold and take it at the end and try and overbury it a bit, because he's got the yellow ones straight back. So
That's a smart call when you're becoming you're a young skip moving up. You see what Alberta did there. They made sure they rolled far enough so that rock can be raised. If this BC rock's made buried, there is a chance to run that yellow one back.
So I think Jim has actually cut down the ice and taking the risk that he has to get it by as closely as possible. He also wants the weight such that they can brush it at the end to get the extra finish. Try and bury it as much as possible.
How much?
Why don't we?
How close? 7.
Whoa line.
Back 4. Back 8.
Whoa line.
Back 8.
Whoa.
Line's going to be good. Line's going to be good. Don't want it. Don't want it.
Whoa.
Oh, don't touch that.
We talk about opportunities here.
Wait.
And, I think that may have slid just too far.
Yep, you betcha.
Right ice.
Is that talked earlier, Russ?
Ties weights on those.
Inside out. Is this a similar situation?
It's amazing, isn't it? It's amazing how many times we watched that all last week, and it's incredibly easy up here because you tend to sit back and chart the mistakes, and that's one way to read ice is if you see teams missing shots. In this case, inside out off the center line heavy.
If you freeze, that's okay.
Kevin Folk did it through a free draw right through the rings earlier, and it's one of those things you have to be aware of all the time. And that's not only, even if that was shot rock, it's too deep because it allows Alberta to play the same shot.
How about spinning? That's him mentally preparing for the shot, setting the weight, locking in the broom.
Line's good.
What do you got?
Line's
6.
good.
Line's good. T-line. In a room.
Lot of room.
Oh, line's good,
6,
guys.
7.
Clean it. 7.
Lots of room.
Whoa, then.
Right off. Whoa. Off.
8.
No line at all. Whoa.
Back to it.
Yep. Oh, that's good.
Oh, that's good. That's good. Good.
Back four, just back T-line.
Once they knew a corner of it was buried, then they didn't have to freeze it because it would just redirect. If BC hits this, it's going to redirect on the red one anyways.
I don't think. Have to just sliver that one.
We just take our one. Do you want the same path or do you want to hit the can? Right there.
It's a can.
Cotter was looking at some kind of combination, wasn't he? Or
yeah, he has to. He needs to here, really, in all intents and purposes. 2 down without hammer against a team like Alberta, you're not in very good shape. So he was trying to
smooth on the last
figure a way to slide by that guard and hit it dead on, but you can't, Vic. It's just too far buried.
Looks to me like the only possible way would be to think about using that guard out in front, but I'm not sure it's even available. Kevin's done a good job trying to limit this end.
Heavy last time. It'd be a wee bit slower in this spot.
And Sawatsky, along with Griffith, picked him up right out of his hand as if they knew it. Needs to bust and get the 4-foot. Uh-oh, man. Did you see that dig in? Wow. Steal of 1 for Alberta. And it's over. Alberta will win this one. Make the final 9-5. And an opening day win for the 2010 Canadian World Champion Kevin Cooey out of the Glencoe Club in Calgary. Well, it's time now for the M&M Meat Shop's final end challenge, and the secret word is bumper. So right after the game, go to finalend.ca, enter that secret word for a chance to win a trip for 2 to see the 2013 World Junior Curling Championship in Sochi, Russia. Alberta picks up an opening win, 9-5 over BC. Time for the game story now, Linda.
Well, you know, it was all Alberta in the first 2 ends, and then BC would creep back. And then it was Alberta in 5 and 8. Each time BC tried to get back in this game, it was Alberta cracking that deuce. But twists and turns in this game, no dominance except maybe at that 3rd position. Pat Simmons, a wonderful game at 94%.
The game story brought to you by M&M Meat Shop's hundreds of meal ideas, 1 aisle. We're in Saskatoon. We'll wrap up this Saturday night when we come back. Two games are over. 2 games remain on the ice, both of them playing the 10th end as we welcome you back to Saskatoon this opening night. Tim Hortons Brier, we're going to take a look now at Newfoundland Labrador against Northern Ontario. Northern Ontario, the champions, skipped by Brad Jacobs out of the Sioux Curlers Association in Sault Ste. Marie. Playing Newfoundland and Labrador's Brad Gouger from the Ballyhaley Country Club in St. John's. And it is Northern Ontario leading. After that steal of 1 in 9, they're up 6-5, Newfoundland and Labrador. And this man, Brad Gouger, does have the last rock coming home.
It's always difficult when the play starts to shift to the side around a corner guard, and for Brad Jacobs trying to protect this situation, trying not to give up the deuce, he's having to draw around that corner guard. That's a nervous time for Northern Ontario.
Just came a little light in the 9th end to give up a steal, so we know this is a quick spot, so you can see him throwing this heavy.
Close. No.
Yep. Go.
Down and back.
Shot? I think it's shot. Yeah.
And it looks like it just did stop in time to be shot stone.
Yeah, an 88. So. Just a couple feet strong.
Yeah.
Shoot. Just get rid of it?
Yeah.
I don't see a reason to do anything else. Well, you got to be. I guess it doesn't matter. Even if you're into ours,
we got a stick. He's got that in off.
He's got the in off.
Yeah, they're whispering there.
We know what they're talking about.
Just play like just through, eh?
It may look like that other yellow rock is buried, but
They were just talking that it's let's just kill this, but by killing the red one, they might kill the yellow. If the yellow goes out, then that you might see Brad Gushu come down this way, run his red rock over like that, and get his deuce.
No.
So thus the change in weight call here. Good move.
Hack.
It's the 5th Brier appearance, 3rd straight for Brad Jacobs. Back in 10, when Cooey went on to win the Canadian Championship, Jacobs had a good run, finishing 3rd.
Hack.
Yep.
A little up. A little more.
Whoa.
Forward. Lots.
Whoa.
Oh, a lot of weight here.
Clean.
Yep.
Yep.
Whoa.
Whoa.
Whoa. Whoa. Whoa.
Clean. Clean that.
Nicely done.
Making me through what he just threw, Andy? I think that's good. I think so too.
So drawing against a couple. Meanwhile, the applause, because over on sheet D,
You can come to the back.
Manitoba has run New Brunswick out of stones, make the final 6-3. So Manitoba has a 1-1 day. And remember what Kathy said to us earlier, Manitoba and Rob Fowler, who appeared nervous in his opening game against Quebec, struggled early. As Kathy said, Rob Fowler appears to have found draw weight, which is good news for Manitoba fans.
Weight's pretty good. This thing go at him. Yeah.
All right, guys. Gotta go.
Here comes Ryan Fry.
Uh-oh.
Come on, guys.
Uh-oh, here they go.
Hard, guys.
Fry, Casey, Walker. Fry, Casey, Walker to the 4-foot, and that's enough. We're going to go an extra.
The 2012 Tim Hortons Brier is brought to you by Roll Up the Rim to Win. It's time for Tim's. The 2012 Tim Hortons Brier is brought to you by World Financial Group. Proud to be a sponsor of the Season of Champions. Your dreams, our strategies. By Scotties, proud supporter of women's curling for over 30 years. And by Capital One, what's in your wallet?
Just coming to the Briers, obviously being our 3rd one in a row now, it's a lot more comfortable feeling for us. It's familiar ground, all the jitters are out.
We can compete with these guys. We just have to be consistent. And as a skip, I've matured. I think I don't get into as trouble as much as I used to.
So it is Northern Ontario against Prince Edward Island. Brad Jacobs on the ice in an extra end. Mike Goody, PEI, losing their first 2 games today. Kathy, Brian Mudryk will have it for you Sunday morning, 9:30 a.m. Eastern Time, as we begin our 3 games a day coverage from the Tim Hortons Brier here in Saskatoon. So it's a very lonely 1 game that remains on the ice here at the Credit Union Center. Newfoundland Labrador, all hands on deck to drag it to the edge of the 4 for the single point. And so now here in this extra, it will be Northern Ontario and the team from the Sioux Curlers Association that does have the last rock playing the Yellowstone.
Top 4.
Whoa, whoa,
whoa.
Sometimes you'll ask your lead in this situation. Do you want to play that tick shot or do you want to play the come around? Because there's a lot of pressure, a lot of downside on mistakes either way.
Mine's perfect. Right here.
we haven't been watching this game, but looking at the stats, both leads with good numbers heading into this extra end. Jeff Walker, the lead for Brad Gushue at 92%, and Scott Seabrook
I'd like to put
for
another
Northern
guard,
Ontario at 86. So you have to expect they're going to make a lot of shots for you.
The real tight then makes this hard to move.
No, let's go in.
Yeah. Try and bump it back button.
I don't see this very often, but I don't disagree with Brad. You normally would throw 2 guards for sure. You have nothing to lose. You have to get as many rocks out in that center line as you can. But if you throw the second guard, Northern Ontario goes around perfect again, it's difficult to get in there for shot rock.
So, some background on this Newfoundland Labrador. Jeff Walker is from Beaver Lodge, Alberta. Canadian and world junior champion with Charlie Thomas in 2006. Newfoundland Labrador and Brad Gushue having to rebuild his team and going outside the province, as he did with Ryan Fry to bring him in from Manitoba. And so he's got a young front end, Ryan Fry moving up,
Also think I touched the guard
as he looks to build a team that just might get him another chance at representing our country.
Well, that was one of those breaks where the weight was perfect on that draw. Overcurls comes way out the other side.
Big. You got peas?
That was wide open. He's going to go and tick it in.
Oh, and they're going to spin up and maybe just grab enough of the back of the button.
Wow.
Scott Seabrook.
Throw the 8 first. Whatever you're going to make it with.
Not only buried, but I believe it's shot rock.
It is. Watch it spin back and up.
Brad, are we shot?
Yes.
Do you think maybe the high one's better? Because he can get them all this way if we're high.
You can get them all that way too, Ryan. Yeah. I just think it's a lot easier to go here. Okay. And if he misses the double, it leaves us in a much better spot.
Okay.
So I told you that Jeff Walker comes from Alberta. Now throwing the second stones for Newfoundland Labrador is Adam Casey. He's from Prince Edward Island. And he won a Canadian junior championship playing with Brett Palang.
Really tight. Where? Yep, you got to go for line, guys. Where is it?
A lot of pressure on this young front end. This is their first Brier game also.
Oh, and both of them played third in junior, so it's actually a new role, a new team, everything about it, moving to another province. Wow, is that hooking?
We can come down to that.
You like trying to come in here with Hack and knows that?
I think so. I think so.
We might not get a better chance.
Just through.
Not a bad idea here. You have to get shot rock here and let Gushue deal with it. Other options peel the guard, but it allows Brad to keep on guarding.
And put a guard in a better spot.
Yep.
Right now there's access to that yellow-red combination.
No.
Hack. Hack plus.
Off.
Ooh, this has to curl.
Cut.
Gets rid of shot stone. Northern Ontario is sitting 1.
Back 4. That's okay. Try and get it on the nose.
Yeah. It's a little light.
Whoa, ladder line.
Real bad. Just top 8.
Whoa, no line, guys.
Just top 8.
Whoa, freeze it then. Whoa.
Gotta
Top
go.
4. It's got to curl, guys. Whoa, please. Top 4. Whoa,
Don't forget
you're
the
gonna
takeout play by Northern Ontario down this spot did
Hard,
not
yep.
move at all.
Hard. Whoa, 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 whoa.
Okay.
Get that pocket.
For me,
Yeah.
Quite a bit, yeah.
Might jam.
Probably jams.
that's fine though, isn't it?
That jamming's not bad.
Yeah, but if you ever clip our own.
Do you like that?
I kind of like that double.
Might whack the guards on that.
I do.
Into the
Oh,
pocket.
it's 6-1. This could run a red one back into the shot rock area. He could play the red double.
No.
Guard the middle. Yep. There. Okay.
Setting up pretty nice for Gushue, really. You just keep guarding this, prolong the agony, and then tap that rock back a little bit to get shot rock with your last one, probably.
That's why Brad was taking that risk, trying to run the guard into the selection at the top of the 8, because he's worried about that happening.
Halfway tight. Line's good. Okay, halfway.
Even if you didn't know he was from Manitoba, Brian Fry. Huh?
You'd know he was from Manitoba.
You can take the boy out of the province, but you can't take the tuck out of the boy. He's right up on that toe.
Boy, that didn't curl enough. I think the double's on now.
That's an interesting spot.
Sure.
It's 3 that we've seen in this extra end that did not move.
Do you like control? How much can you see?
Of the, which one?
Yeah, like how much room you got?
Quarter, not
For
even.
whatever weight you want. I don't know how much room. This or that?
What do you think, normal? Control or normal?
You could probably do it normal, too.
What? Yeah, normal, maybe?
Could go down and discuss this one. There's no time limit here. They get lots of time. It's a chance to set this up nicely.
Yep. Whoa, 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 whoa.
Yep.
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 Hard.
Yep. Yep. Yes.
Wow. E.J. Harnden.
Scott, that's out.
That's in.
What?
That's in.
We talk about it all the time. Really, the missed guard by Ryan Fry could be the difference here.
Pretty tight.
Line's really tight, too.
Okay, weight's pretty
Line's
good, though. Real tight.
Real tight.
Almost half flow.
Yeah, we're over curling by a mile. Whoa. Let it die, guys. We're going to bury around this guard if you sweep it. A couple feet
Well, the
short.
way we're seeing this sheet of ice for
Line's
this
really
extra
bad.
end is going to complicate the issue a little bit for Brad. We're seeing a big hook on one
guys.
side and a straight spot on the other.
I think so.
A little tight.
I just hope that doesn't come back, you know?
Well, hit it thick or thin, if anything.
Right?
Yeah, half rock.
Yeah, if you hit this 3/4 of this, you could run that top red one, angle off the one Ryan just threw straight back. So you have to hit about half rock or less here to make this double and have it run free of the yellows.
Yeah. Whoa.
He's playing very well.
Great throw.
They've worked hard in the game. Linda Rush, this Northern Ontario team, they've played a lot of bonspiels, trying to recapture what they had a couple of years ago.
Just to nose it. Then we might be able to nose and make
Then we got to go here.
Yeah, not afraid to travel, play in the big events, spend the money. Obviously, they're fit. There's no question there.
Do we have one in the
Worked
extra?
hard in their deliveries. They've been at camps. Timeout being called.
The other option, we try and
And a
slide.
very
maybe
familiar
get to here
face going
somewhere.
down to
push this to
work
back
with
button.
Brad on this timeout.
Try and slide in.
My good buddy, Toby McDonald. The best seafood chowder in Newfoundland.
I love it if you make it.
Not sure that's helpful now, but other times perhaps.
Did I tell you I'm hungry? Toby
Well, I'm
was
just thinking if we could
unbelievable in our run in
Couple
06 there with the
options. He
Olympic
plays his
team.
run back. He hits it a hair low. We might go there. Hits it a hair. He might give us a pocket. I don't know. See, it's either a freeze or we play a little like back 8 and just try and slide off in here, pop that to there. And then hopefully with this, maybe he'll hit it a little this way, or even if he hits it a hair high, he might pop it over here to give us 2 to freeze to. Praying. Or, you know, we lock it on. I don't think square is any good. You got to lock it on here this way. Yeah. Square, he gets it out, so this way.
Square, you got to bump it this way.
Well, he can hit it all he wants this way to go into that.
Yeah.
And then if he makes it, then it freezes up to draw one back here, and at least we make him make a shot.
I don't mind the pass.
Yeah, whatever you like. I'd like to have a guard. Corner free.
So Toby makes his way off the ice. Part, of course, of Newfoundland and Labrador curling history, as Jack McDuff won that only championship for Newfoundland back in '76, and Toby was playing third rock for him at that time.
You could play just a straight freeze here, Vic, and then once that's eliminated, assuming it is, then you come around with your last one. There's no rocks in the forefoot. Do something like that, and at least shrink that scoring area.
This is edge of the forefoot. So. Stay hair last, Ryan.
So the decision is?
It's the corner freeze. Trying to set up an angle on the other rock, Yellowstone back 8. Make it harder to get this one completely out.
Pretty good.
That's there. Back.
Room.
Skip Stones here in this extra.
Line's good.
Back butt.
Line's good.
Hold in.
Pretty good.
Lock it on.
6-6
Don't
time.
bump it. No bump, guys.
Should be there.
Needs
like
a
it's
curl.
It's heavy.
Whoa. Pretty close. Whoa, lock it on, guys. Whoa.
Yep.
Ah.
There's what I meant by the freezes, Vic. We talked about it last week also with the Scotties. That they thought that was perfect, and it just kind of takes off when it slows down, and all of a sudden it's an easy removal.
It almost grabbed in.
Because if we get rid of everything and go this way, then you'll probably go here, right?
That's fine. We got the whole
and then
four
we got
foot.
the whole 4 foot.
Yep.
You straight pick.
We don't want a straight pick.
No, I know.
We want to get rid of that back yellow.
Yeah. So, half a rock.
What? Yeah. Well, we want to get
well,
rid of the back one.
Yeah.
And that one.
I mean,
wherever we go.
You could probably make that. For sure.
Okay, get rid of both of these. And see where we end up.
Yeah, anywhere on the high side of it.
I think a nose would be a great shot, Linda. The speed that this Brad Jacobs can throw, hit it dead on, everything flies. Now you're in front of the tee line, and what does Brad do then, you know? They're thinking peel everything, and Brad Gush will do what we illustrated, go around that rock at the top of the 8 foot, try to catch the corner of the 4 foot, and force Northern Ontario to draw the 4 foot for the win or loss.
I guess they're also looking at a situation where in this extra end, they have not seen Brad's team make much in the way of the perfect draw. Brad came the closest with that one.
Hard. Hard.
Yep.
Right up.
And he wanted to get rid of the back one, and he does.
I honestly felt like there was something under that when I let it go.
A slight victory for the Gushu team. They've got a bit of a chance now. Partially buried in the edge of the 4 foot, and it would force a decision, either a raise or the draw that 4 foot.
Tee line, half bury. Let's try and keep a piece of the 4 foot. I think he's drawing anyway. So if we get half bury, okay. Maybe that's the hair more, Ryan. Same weight.
Yeah, exact same weight.
Yep.
Pretty good. Weight's good.
Real line.
T.
Yep. Hard.
Hard line.
Hard.
Hard, guys, go.
Gushu finished third, won the bronze medal a year ago in London, Ontario.
No.
That's what I was saying. They're really struggling with the line.
And now rub and roll off. And now they can just bang this, make this go away, or do you draw?
I
don't think you have to.
I think it's yellow that shot, Vic.
It is. They're shaking hands. They agree, and so it's over. Northern Ontario will pick up the single here in this extra end And they'll win it, make the final 7-6 to pick up their opening game win. So it's Nova Scotia and the team from Halifax that has gotten out to the quick start. Jamie Murphy picks up 2 straight wins. New Brunswick and PEI having the toughest of days, losing their first 2. 9:30 a.m. tomorrow. Kath and Brian Mudrick will be with you. 3 draws a day now, right through the end of round robin. It'll be Northern Ontario against PEI and Mike Goody again, 9:30 a.m. Eastern Time. To complete our opening day here in Saskatoon, the 2012 Tim Hortons Brier. So till tomorrow, on behalf of all of us, thank you for joining us here at the Credit Union Centre. The Tim Hortons Brier is our Canada's sports leader. TSN Sports Center is next.